Hello, everybody. Good morning to y'all, or good afternoon if you're in the UK. I'm Rocky Outcrop. This is your morning show for financial preparedness, let's say. This is your morning show for tuning in and being prepared for whatever may come in the financial markets. We are here together. Thank you so much for joining me. And I have a poll up in the chat already. It is F is for Friday. Is F for Friday? It's Friday, yeah. Ba-da-da-dee-dee-dee. So, we've made it through to the end of the week. We're going to be doing some exciting stuff today in this show as ever. Are you ready? The martial arts blindfold with a pinhole in it will be getting even darker for us today, I suppose you could say. Even narrower field of vision, as what I will do when we open up the charts in just a minute or two here is change all of it to white, all of it. That's right. So far this week, what we've done is we changed the candle colors, then we changed the volume bar colors. Now we'll just change everything to white and see how we get on. How's that going to go for everybody? I wonder. I'm wondering over here what we'll get out of that. And it's really good to see you all. Good to see you in there. For example, we have Cowball Chipmunk. That's a name. That's a username change, isn't it? Is that All Saint? Is that you've changed your name from All Saint to Cowboy Chipmunk? Is that Cowball? Is that what's going on there? Vic Vince, good to see you. Stephen Kimbler, J.O., that jiu-jitsu guy, KT, a very barred idea, eh? Whoop, whoop. Ben, good to see Ben Kelly. Good to see you, Lepton. And a shout out to everybody. If you're tuning in here for the first time today, then you have arrived. Well done. News of on arrive, as they say in France. We've arrived at our destination. This is the best place to be. Thanks so much for joining me. Hit that subscribe button and we will be having a good time together. So it's 35 after the hour, coming up to 35 after the hour. I've done our wee sort of chitter chatter intro, get a timer looking up there correctly, and we can kind of start to crack on with this show. We've got news today as well. Hey. And all that. The Mighty Potato. Hi, Rocky. I watch trade a lot. First time with you. Way hey, Mighty Potato. Well, Mighty Potato, let's see. You can be my canary in the coal mine. Let me know if you think that the show is good. I'm going to end that poll then. I'm going to end that poll for just now. We'll try and come up with more polls throughout the show. There's a super chat coming in here from West Coast Banana Freeshi. Yeah, I hope that you do have a good time here today, Mighty Potato. We're going to be. This is the place where you want to come every morning to be in the right mindset for the trading day. USA markets will open up in approximately 55 minutes, and we will be very much prepared for that happening. And that is good because it's a part of the process. It's what we do every day. So always be prepared. Good to see you, Katie Babes. Good to see you, Smug Slug. Good to see you, JT858. And yeah, cool. So I was going to stick. I was tempted to stick a poll up there. Do you think that the Mighty Potato will want to come back at the end of the show? Of course, there's no point in that. It's just flattering myself. Well, we already know the answers as well. Yes, is the answer. Right. So yeah, this is what is that? That's me with a background. Need to actually set up my backgrounds here today. So let me just do that with you for a second here. I don't need to replace the background. I need to remove the background there. Brilliant. Okay, floating in darkness in space. Let's add something. Let's add to this space over here and get the browser on the right page. So I've got it. It is now here. World Bank leaders urging MTF. There we go. So this is one of the news articles that we'll discuss later on. Shout out to TradeSpotting for giving me the link. One of the things we'll talk about later on is the complete lack of participation from the community with the channel account. This is the channel account. It's your account, people. It's your account. It's like your decisions that influence what happens here. Of course, at the end of the day, this is going to be an account which makes me rich, right? But you have to be my financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. You can be my financial advisor, though. and you can tell me where to put in my trades. Now, you haven't been taking part properly, have you? You can see that I currently have a trade for 20 THETA open. Last night, I put in an order after speaking to one of the community members, Christy, shout out to you, buddy, for 75 THETA in there at 620. Where is the order I put in? It's 622. Now, the prices haven't gone down there. Will they go down there or not? That's something that I'm going to have to ask you guys to tell me for, and if this order is in the right place, and what the risk management should be on it. Because as you can see, there's no take profit or stop loss in there on that order. Shout out to you, by the way, if you are using trading accounts like this that allow you to put in a stop loss and a take profit, you are going to get an advantage using that at the time that you fill out the order if you're not going to be there to see the order go through. However, when you do see the order go through, you would be better off using a limit order to take profit than a take profit order to reduce your fees. Shout out to you for that little tidbit of information. And we have the charts here. So this is one of the charts. This is X. And it's a story. I wish I had been talking about this. When I saw the news articles, the news headlines today, I was like, oh, what? Why did I forget about this? Back when I first started telling people about Rolls-Royce, I was also talking about, or maybe before then even, I was talking about US Steel. I spent a fair amount of time talking about US Steel last year on the show. Got my hydro flask with me. So yeah, I spent a fair amount of time talking about this last year in the show. Not a lot of people very massively receptive to it. And I took my eye off the ball myself, okay? The last time I was trading this was in and around about August or July, August, something like that, probably last year, probably. I'm not 100% sure, maybe even later. And I had some trades, some little profitable trades, nothing much going on, talking about how we anticipated this thing to happen. And by my wordy, lordy, it has happened. One of the conversations that we're having about this, look at the correct camera. One of the conversations we were having about this was to do with whether or not the Trump administration would focus its quantitative easing and inflationary policies and stimulus policies towards infrastructure. And that was one side of things, and the other side of things was taking a look at US Steel, because it has, as a company, spent a long time, some years, in fact, to the in terms of its stock price as well. It's also spent 42%, an 89.67% decline, and 90% decline in its value over the period of a couple of years of US Steel, not just some rubbish company, but US Steel, big old X. US Steel lost 90% of its value. 90% of its value. And I was saying to people, they've done some good work and they look like they're going to turn around. The thing has gone up, 500% since then, so or something like that. So would have been good to have kept on talking about it. Didn't keep on talking about it. So reminder to all of you that there are always good topics of conversation that you can go back to, you can look at, you can investigate these things yourself, and we can talk about them on the show. And I'm surprised to an extent that nobody, after me bringing this up and talking about it for so long, ever re-mentioned US Steel again to me. And I'm surprised as well that I myself forgot to take a look at it as well. And I didn't actually take advantage of that move, which I've been talking about for so long. For so long, I was talking about it, aware of this thing, going through its changes for the last few years. And then, of course, I took my eye off the ball. And by taking my eye off the ball, what I mean is I took my eye off the ball for approximately a year. 1 year later, I'm back looking at the chart, seeing that the prices are up at 25.15 or so, 25.30, 25.40, and I could have been trading this from $6 up to this price here. Well, there you go. I told everybody as well as the blue chip stock that they would want to have a hold of, just like the RR and the Ricey. And you know what? I think I might even have some of it somewhere, but I just need to check my accounts as well. So and if I have and it's all good, then that's good, and I've made money somewhere. But I just need to check my accounts. So that's something that we'll be doing. But let's do this. Let's do this. We'll do this. Actually, no. This is the sort of thing that changing all these colors to white will take a second or two. Changing all these colors to white will take a second or two, and it's 42 minutes after the hour just now. So it's time, I think, for us all to get into the right physical mindset again. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. Today we'll try it again. Let's try and get into the right physical mindset for doing our job. Let's get the oxygen flowing. Let's do it. Now, shout out to everybody as well that feels like they can't do it. I'm right there with you. I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay? I am very unfit. This is difficult for me. Let's do it together. Let's try and do 10 squats. Then we'll sit back down after that. We'll change all the colors to white. And then we'll start looking at technical analysis together. All right? And thanks so much. Oh, I can see that the timer's actually stopped working already as well. So I'll get that working again. There we have it. Thanks so much. You can see that Katie Babes and Kachito were chatting in there about time. So I wonder if that was related. Just see it in my peripheral vision. Right, okay, let's get this over with. 10 squats. Yeah, my form could be better. Probably could be a hell of a lot better. Probably really awful form. Don't judge me on it. Like I say, I'm just lucky I'm doing it at all. Stand up with me. Come on. Stand up with me. One. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Make this last one a good one. 10. Oh. 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 Okay, look. For some of you, that's the easiest thing in the world. For some of us, it's hard. We're in it together. We're trying to improve our lives. One squat at a time. Okay, intro clips coming up, and then we'll get on with the show. This is the time you hit like, by the way, if you haven't already. That's right, that's right. Correct, Maddie, ass to the grass. Whew. You hit like yet? Cool, okay. Thanks so much, everybody. Really appreciate you being here. If you did them at the same time as me, well done. Well done. Whew. Okay, so style, histogram. Bollocks! I can't make this all white. I forgot about that. You can't change the color of this thing so easily. Could add a different MACD, like a customized MACD, and just remove all the crap off there. And maybe I'll get a chance to MACD. Here's somebody else's MACD. Is this more indicators? Ooh. Excuse me. So let's move that one if it's there. Don't need that. Don't need that one. Right. Stop focusing, camera. I hear you focusing. Stop it. It's another camera anyway. So let's get another MACD up and see if I can change the colors on this one to just white. There we go. That's a thoroughly ugly looking MACD, so it is. No, I can't. Don't want that one. Remove. Let's see, MACD. If this isn't possible, it's not possible, you know, or not. So if it's not so easy, then let's see this custom indicator with multiple blah, blah, blah. We don't want any of your crap because it's all useless. Ah, brilliant. White. White. Don't need you. Oh, wait, no. Don't need the MACD. Sorry, need the histogram. Don't need no stupid cross thing. Don't need no stupid line. Don't be an idiot. Right. White. 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 And white. Perfect. Excellent. Right. Great. Nice one. That's the MACD done. Apple Blossom. Thank you so much. What do you say here? You've got to pick up every stitch 2 rabbits. You've got to pick up every stitch 2 rabbits running in the ditch. Oh no. Must be the season of the witch. All right. Nice one. Great. Okay. What did I just do there? I got rid of it by accident. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to get rid of that one up there. Remove. Right. Do I even want the accumulation distribution on here? Suppose I'll put it on and leave it white, but I'm not even sure if I want it on today. Perfectly honest with you. That's fine. Make this white. Plot white. 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 All your comfort zones belong to us, my friends. That's right, because it's all being turned to white. And we have here white, white. And you think to yourself, like, Rocky, you're destroying all of these colors here. These are so useful. And it's like, yes, it is. But are you getting the most out of these colors? Are you really? Are you really? And maybe, just maybe, we need to bleach everything. Just bleach everything out so that you can actually see things for what they really are. You notice this is my particular, I use an exponential moving average on my stochastics. That's just basically the only difference, really. Background colors are positioned the way that I like to have them in terms of my zones. Okay, here we have it. Here we have it. A lot less information on there. Oh, almost. Almost. Just about. There we go. A lot less information on there than there was before. Am I right? There's a lot less information than there was before. And this is us. So, the point here, and this is sort of good, useful for that potato chap earlier on, is to try and make it so that you become even better at understanding what we're looking at. I think that the implications here are quite clear now. This sort of strange photocopy of the charts, as opposed to the regular thing that you're looking at, has got so little colors informing you of what your emotions and your thoughts should be, that perhaps you're more inclined to actually try and come up with your own opinions. That's all it really is. It's just this. And I think maybe next week we'll go back to using the colors. We'll go back to using colors. But as you can see here, now, the next thing to do, by the way, if I wanted to, would be to change all of these colors white as well. To get rid of all the labels on the right. So I'm leaving the labels on there so you can at least tell. For example, you can see the ADX DI plus negative DI, etc., all on there as well. So Daniel, the bleached charts is a great idea to help people overcome human psychology. Cheers, mate. No problem, Daniel. My friend. Good to see you, by the way. Really great guy. Daniel, really good guy. Ask him in the chat about options and stuff like that. He's a big fan of the wheel. So, great. Excellent. Let's check in then on some of the charts that we talked about. EVGO. Now, you can see that my colors of my drawings and all that are still there. And you can see that this is the weekly time frame. Let me just go down to the 4-hour time frame so you can see that we have mostly kind of done what we talked about doing with operating within the structure of this wedge here. We have pushed down a little bit further. That I need to move this. They need to move this Fibonacci retracement down just a little bit to match up with it. So there we have it. And we've bounced up a little bit so far. Could we be aiming to move up and fill out this sort of wedge structure a little bit more? We were talking about the lower end of this thing not really matching up properly before. Not really matching up, and it still doesn't. It still doesn't. So, you could still be looking down, and we still are aware of this. There's still that potential for us. But right now, the price is at pre-market of EVGO, an electric vehicle charging company. I guess EV stands for electric vehicle, and GO stands for go. is here with a female CEO and everything. We're looking and seeing, can this company get up towards the sort of the 872 area, where we had the last kind of inflection. A lot of analysis that we did in there, kind of, you know, looking to see, would we get a bounce just there? Well, we pushed on lower, we didn't get a double bottom, and we're hoping that in the end that this divergence here, let's take a look at the RSI, nice and black and white for us, this sort of divergence here, and it's class B, or else it's not really in existence at all, between the last just little lows just here. Let me just see. So this is the last low over here, it looks like. But then there is this low and there is this low, giving us that idea that, oh, maybe we're just getting past that divergence. You know, maybe we're actually going to get bearish convergence on the go. Let's look instead at something else, like the different time frames. The 1 hour time frame, got a clearer idea of what's actually kind of going on just here, kind of pushing it a little bit more so it's on the 1 hour. And we can see that there is indeed that bullish divergence just here. You know, that's what we were looking for, and we've got that. So this is a decent one, decent enough. Can it continue? You know, we've made it up to the neutral area, the neutral line on the stochastics. You can see that the stochastic line itself is above that moving average, and the two of them are moving towards the top side. So that's very good. We're above that neutral line. Now, of course, you could see turnarounds, etc., but this momentum that's there is good so far in this turnaround. Yesterday was a very good day for the company in terms of trading. You can see that we're coming in for a cross. Now, here, you know, you're going to be wondering which color is which on this one. And why would you be wondering that? Why? Look at the prices. What way have they been going? They've been going to the downside. So which out of the two DMs here, which one's going to be the higher one? You know, which one's going to be the one that's higher out of the two? We know that we're looking at charts that have been going towards the downside. We know we have. So which one would you expect? Well, of course, the higher up one of the two DIs is going to be the negative. So of course that is. So of course that's the negative, and of course this is the positive. Now we could come in for a sort of cross. As you can see, the angle of this last little bit towards the downside matches the angle of the movement currently on the DM positive, giving you that DI positive. Positive DI, whatever. Giving you that kind of Rick and Morty type approach there, looking to see, can we actually get this thing to prevent its stall? We don't want to have a stall. We don't want to have too much oxygen get into our engine because we're flying at too high an angle towards the top side and then can't actually combust we don't have enough fuel in there to combust and then result in a stall. We want to be able to keep enough fuel flowing into the engine with enough kind of mixture there that we actually keep going. So that's what we're looking to over there. And it's a nice bit of strength on the histogram here. Obviously not with hidden bearish divergence so far. That's good to see. Accumulation distribution indicator, this is a bit spread, a bit tight there, isn't it? Oh, look at that. Clearly got the divergence as well towards these lows too. So that's good to see. All this stuff that's good to see happening for us in terms of this one getting a potential turnaround. Now we've not actually got to the point where this is turned around on the DMI yet. But look here, this is the ADX. Like this one here is the ADX. And it remains up above this line, which is clearly 40. You might not know that yourself, but I've drawn these lines in the background for good reason. It's worth paying attention. They do exist. Over here, this line is obviously is 30, you know, so these lines, like I say, they do exist. There's worth paying attention to them. They are there for a reason. They're not there on the out of the box one. They're there for a reason here. And we're above 40, and it looks like, you know, we'll probably still be above 30 even if we do come in for a cross, leaving the ADX in a position where there's a relative strength on the go. I like to think about this in terms of things like to think about it in terms of things like kind of just momentum. If you were in a race between these two walls, if you're in a race between these two walls, the temptation, if you were just on foot, of course, would be to run in that way. You know, turn around here and run in that way, turn around here and run in that way. Just a straight line, because as a human being, you know that your acceleration between these 2 points is going to take account that there's no momentum that you could get by coming in at an angle that would work for you. But you know, when you're watching NASCAR, etc., that the cars don't just drive up, you know, turn around and stop and drive the opposite direction. That's not the race. That would be drag racing one way to the next. You've got this idea where you want to maintain momentum. You want to maintain your momentum going around. You want to maintain your momentum as much as you can. Continue to keep your speed up as you continue to go. You don't want to actually hit against a flat surface, lose all of that inertia, all of that momentum that you've got, and then need to pick it up again from a standing start. You don't want that to happen. And this is what the ADX is like here. So you've got your ADX NASCAR driving around in its circle here, and it wants to keep its momentum going. It wants to keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. So when you get the ADX moving down past this point here, past 20, that's equivalent of it coming up against a hard stop, and it needing to actually find a different degree of for the prices to find equilibrium and then organically start going again. Whereas when it remains above these zones and the ADX has gone up, down, and then up again, while you've got a cross, it's got the NASCAR momentum on the go. NASCAR momentum. Okay, and that's what we're looking for overall here. So while we're looking at this chart, we're seeing that the ADX is high and it's pulling down the way. These two are coming together. That we wanting to see that there's no equilibrium between prices right now in terms of like in terms of the direction. That doesn't just stagger and stall. We want it to actually get at that cross, move up the way, and continue to have the ADX in a position of momentum. Okay, so nice one. That's a little bit of a lesson, and it's been aided, I suppose, in a sense, by the black and white chart. So that's the EVGO chart. We're at coming up to 2 p.m. We're going to take a look at the news and see what news articles we've got. Then we're going to take a look at our favorite two stocks, so-called meme stocks. You've got GME over here, kicking around about $206. It came up obviously and filled in what was actually a flash, I believe, on when was it? Somebody said to me, was it 15 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that? There was a flash that got filled. Where was it? Looking at the DMI over here. Yep. So perfect. Let's just once again audit ourselves with regards to our indicator. We'll take out a horizontal ray. Look at the candle. Actually, we'll take out a vertical line first, just to make this really obvious and easy for everybody following along to see. Pop that in at the candle that followed the flash. Take out the horizontal ray line, and we'll just pop that in here. So this was our open up here. How do we know that was our open? Actually, in fact, how can we tell that was our open? How can we really tell? Let's just take a second here, because we can't necessarily, right? We can't necessarily. Could have been down here, moved up. Could have been opened here, moved down. We can't necessarily. So just quickly just check. There we go. Now we know that it was actually a green candle. So anyway, and that is of course our open. Now I could have used the high, low, open, close values at the top if I wanted to. That would have been the easiest way to just find the open price, because that's all you need to know. You don't need to know if this was a positive or negative candle. You just need to know the open price. So there we have the open price. Looking over to the right, oh my goodness, we came in and we did that. That is how this thing works, making it so easy for you to trade. Now, of course, as well, we've also spoken about things like the descending broadening wedge, how the target for it's up towards the apex. Do you want to draw in where is this the start of the thing here? Have we achieved that? Have we achieved that move so far? Was this the start of it? Or was it more accurate and fair to have it drawn in the way I had before? I don't know. I'll leave those questions with you. They're things that we can absolutely discuss in the Discord as well. We're going to remain bullish on this, of course we are. And that's that. Oh, it's 2 o'clock just now, so let's just quickly see the AMC pricing. Yesterday managed to, of course, after filling in that gap, managed to, of course, move towards the top side, and it tested off of this once, twice, 3 times before bouncing away. So I'm sure you must feel like you're just absorbing tons and tons and tons of skills here. Skills upon skills upon skills upon skills, as you're looking at these charts play out with the explanations and the understanding and the education the whole way along, telling you where we're going. Right, so brilliant. Real quick, make sure the timer's still working. That should be the timer working. Real quick, jump on over to here and say to everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate it. Let's, I suppose, get into business mode here. Let's get into business mode. The old trick there for when you're working in an office and all that, to stick a jumper over your shirt so you don't have to iron your shirt. Oh, insider knowledge, that one. Well, there you go. Still relevant today, as much today as it ever was. Never trust a man wearing a shirt with a jumper over the top. Just kidding. Right. Yeah, great. Okay, cool. So, news. You snooze, you lose. What's the news, dudes? So over here, stock market lose. Stock futures fall, extending streak of choppy trading. They got to Friday and they just ran out of ideas. It's like, guys, we need to tell people why things are happening the way they're happening. And somebody's like, we could say they rose because of corona concerns easing. Nope, we can't do that. We've done that already. We could say that they're choppy because of the European bond market. No, we can't do that. We've used that reason already this week. Anyway, circulating around the office like that for quite a while, didn't manage to come up with an answer. And instead they just said, hey, look, it's choppy. It's choppy. We don't need to give a reason for choppy. Just say choppy. Extending streak of choppy trading. But how can you extend a streak of choppy trading when it was that they were rising and then they were falling and then they were rising and then they were falling and they all had reasons and now there's no reason and it's choppy? Well, there you go. Educating you with regards to the lack of aptitude within the journalism world. Here we go. Bitcoin slides on environmental concerns. Just, a little article I popped in here just so that we could continue that conversation. Did Bitcoin really slide on environmental concerns? Did it really? Did it? Did it really? Because I'm crazy, right? I'm crazy. I'm so glad they told me this news. I'm so glad they told me this news about how Bitcoin is sliding because of environmental concerns. It's good that people are aware of that now, obviously for the first time. Let's just check here with Bitcoin. Oh, sorry, Bitcoin USDT. Let's just see. Did it slide because of environmental concerns? Was that what it was? Is that what this was? This was environmental concerns. It wasn't that this was a 618, was it, or anything like that? Let me just see. It wasn't like we went from this high up here down to this low down here. And on the logarithmic chart, no, it wasn't. Where was it though? There was something. Oh, it's down here. And we came up towards this region. I don't know. Anyway, it's good to know that it was environmental concerns. So back to the news. Yep, right, okay. Anyway, still looking for 100k. Obviously, everybody is. I mean, we've had 50k, so that's what we're looking for. 100k. It's quite simple. Once we get to 100k, it's going to be that we're looking for 200k. Most likely, that'll be what people start talking about, or they talk about 150k. Who knows? 10 most important cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin, though, because of course Bitcoin isn't the star of every show. It's not the star of every show. Let's let Investopedia tell us what the most important cryptocurrencies are. Cryptocurrencies. I'll have my Rogan Josh. I'll have my Korma. I go crazy for chicken jalfrezi. The 10 most important cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin. Bitcoin has not only been a trendsetter, but blah, 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 blah. What are cryptocurrencies? Indeed, a question that you should really ask yourself at some point within the next few years. You really should. Anyway, Ethereum. Well, we knew that already, right? That's number one on that. Now, they're coming in, they're saying the next one is Litecoin. What do you think about that number two? I think number one, saying Ethereum, is pretty clear. I mean, it's got the second largest market cap, but also as well in terms of the utility of the network, the adoption rates, stuff like that. Vitalik being very much a strong influencer in the world, much stronger in terms of shaping the future of cryptocurrency than the likes of Craig White. Litecoin, however, do we really think so? Do we really like Charlie Wee? Charlie? Do we really like him? I'm not too sure. We kind of think that Charlie Lee's a bit of a dick. Also, Litecoin, I don't know if we wonder it, but anyway, that's good. It still is in there. It's in there. It's like the silver to the gold is what people used to describe it. If Bitcoin was gold, then Litecoin was silver. That got a bit attacked with the Bitcoin cashes, etc. It's essentially a pointless cryptocurrency other than for payment. The biggest difference between Bitcoin and Litecoin being the speed of the transactions, essentially, which is like, neither here nor there anymore. Cardano, Right, so it's really taken headlines this year. Cardano moving up from a place of real obscurity, kind of a bit of a joke in a sense. Well, they were so slow to do anything, and the sort of the academia approach not necessarily being that amazing in terms of putting this thing together. Well, they've really done really well. They've now actually got to the point where they're actually introducing smart contracts, etc., and that's pushed this thing up into this sort of third place. Crazy. What are they saying? The world aims to be the world's financial operating system. You know, it's words like that. Financial operating system. I mean, what does that really mean? It means it's bullshit, right? It's just bullshit. Anyway, due to its rigorous process, peer review, etc., Cardano seems to stand out among proof of stake peers as well as other large cryptocurrencies. Yeah, it's kind of marketing. It's a little, I don't know, a little bit. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good and everything. But in terms of is it any better than anything else, it was like very debatable. Polkadot. Now, Polkadot is a much more interesting one, set up by one of the founders of Ethereum. And in terms of what its vision is really good. Now, things that people don't understand about Polkadot, which you're going to be told about in the future, which I've been talking about for longer than the founder of Polkadot publicly. Now, he's been talking about it for probably the same amount of time as me in private ways, but I've got a daily YouTube channel and he doesn't, is that there's going to be mergers and acquisitions in the future of blockchain. It's going to be mergers and acquisitions, and it's this interoperability across the chain, which is really required, and Polkadot satisfies that. It's a dark horse in terms of that aspect of it. The founder of it knows fine well that that's what it's set up for, as do we, because I've just told you. Anyway, this likes to talk about shite like Polkadot's core component is its relay chain that allows interoperability of varying network. It allows for parachains or parallel blockchains with their own native token for special use cases. Great. But actually, that also allows for mergers and acquisitions, which is a far bigger concept that hasn't quite been understood yet. Anyway, we've got the guy Gavin Wood. Call him Gav if you're his pal. If you're not, call him Gav and pretend to be his pal. Bitcoin Cash, largely irrelevant. Stellar, XLM. Basically, people have been talking to me, asking me recently, what is Stellar? Well, Stellar is essentially a competitor to Ripple, but with slightly less dodginess and a bit more kind of interest in development. Really kind of cool in a way in terms of how it focuses on developers. And they released a wallet and did 100 million Stellar airdrop through that. What was the wallet called again? It's more than a wallet. I've got it in my thingy here. What was it again? Can't remember the name of it. Anyway, because of that, you got that airdrop, and it was pretty good. And it's like a communications thing. It's like Slack. Like they're trying to build Slack into their sort of their just they understand developers, right? It's an interesting one. Understand that. So it's something to look into. They're founded by Jed, whoever that is, who was from Ripple Labs. So of course, that's the connection there to XRP. Stellar Lumens have a market cap of 565 and blah, blah, blah. Now, Chainlink, again, super interesting one because it talks about the actually providing data. Now, people talk about all this sort of stuff, but you really need to have data that can be insured upon. There's a business use case for Chainlink that most people don't quite understand, It's like it allows you to claim that somebody else was at fault when things go wrong. The value add of being able to blame somebody else is huge. It's huge. It's one of the biggest sectors of any modern economy is the ability to blame someone else. You need to understand this, people. Businesses are separate entities from those who run the businesses for good reason. That's why the guy is able to stay in charge of Barclays despite being an out-and-out criminal himself, because of the separate entity thing. That's a bad reason, but for most parts, you need to have that separation. And again, you also need to have insurance. You need to be able to underwrite things, and you need to have ability to say that this price was independently verified by somebody for something, and it gives you that. So, founded by Sergey Nazarov. Some people like to think that guy is actually who Satoshi Nakamoto is. So anyway, Bitcoin, Binance Coin, great, cool. We can skip that one. It's an interesting project, all that. Tether, we can skip that one as well. Monero. Now, this is one that I want to talk about because we like to see Monero peak massively at massive peaks in the market as people who are savvy understand that they want to launder their money at the peak of the market. So you quite often see run-ups of Monero in advance of course, the Bitcoin market stalling and dropping to the downside. What are you talking about, Rocky? That's completely... Don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. That's not what that's for. This is a favorite amongst drug dealers around the world, etc. Stuff like that really is actually private and secure. Now, they work towards it. They found a bug this year, which they've tried to then improve upon. And they're one of the most secure and private chains. And I think that so long as that continues, this is always going to be a relevant cryptocurrency that has a good intrinsic value on that front. Cool, nice one, excellent. Thanks, TradeSpawn, for reminding people and asking them what did I do wrong that they won't hit like. Couple more news articles to get through here, and we're going to just stick with it until we're done. For today, it's Friday, and we're going to enjoy this. I've got a bit of Roaring Kitty chat to get around to in a minute. So Ebola can remain dormant for 5 years. Incredible stuff, right? Incredible. There's been a breakout of Ebola, an outbreak in Guinea since February. Now, of course, it's Africa, it's poor people, they're black, it's Ebola, we're white, we live in the Western world. Therefore, nobody talks about this because, human problems don't make headlines. However, this is now making headlines now, and it's a real problem, and Ebola is an awful thing. It's actually happening in the Ivory Coast as well at the minute. Big stuff happening over there, and it's really incredible that potentially this whole thing started off from somebody who contracted Ebola back in 2016. Was considered to have been cured, and then lived with it in his system dormant for 5 years before it came back and started a new outbreak. It's amazing. A lot of interesting stuff. If you want to hear about this, go ahead. By all means, search for Ebola can remain dormant for 5 years on Google. It'll come up with the BBC World Service podcasting. You can listen to yourself and enjoy it.
Where Ebola broke out this year in February, they have found that virus looks unnaturally like the strain that was circulating 5 or more years ago. And
fantastic stuff. Good listen. Interesting. Broaden your horizons a little bit. Hundreds of trucks are missing in Ethiopia. Again, more of this news that doesn't get reported everywhere. Hundreds of trucks. Hundreds. What's going on? Ethiopia's foreign ministry has welcomed the UN Security Council's calls to resume talks with neighbouring Sudan and Egypt to resolve their dispute and finalise agreement on filling and operating the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD. The ministry also welcomed the council's move to direct the matter to African Union. Ethiopia believes the time is now for the Nile Basin countries to brace for and foster basin-wide cooperation. I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. Egypt's foreign ministry, on its part, urged all observers to facilitate the reaching of an agreement. But where are these bloody trucks? Where's the trucks? This is the thing. This is the news. Where's the news? There's trucks missing. That's just different. That's side news. Where's the trucks? 500. Look, 500 trucks. 500 trucks have gone between Ethiopia and a neighboring country. Not 100% sure which one it went between. Not sure off the headline. Not sure, right? Only 38 of them have come back. So 462 trucks have gone missing, delivering aid. I think this is something that people need to know about. I think it's interesting. People need to know about that. Here's the news about our friend US Steel. And then Reddit gleeful as Mass Mutual takes the heat for Roaring Kitty's actions. That's not true. Not true. Organizations, Roaring Kitty is a chartered financial advisor. He is, certified. I don't actually know. Certified is, I think, is what you call it in America, as opposed to chartered. He has a responsibility and a commitment through the FINRA to avoid pushing his own book and providing financial advice to people on the internet more so than anybody else who isn't, registered with FINRA as a financial advisor. Why? Because an off-duty policeman telling you that it's okay to steal or something like that is kind of worse than a regular person telling you that you're allowed to steal. For example, you know, these sorts of things, these reasons. So that's why he was brought into Congress. And that's why he was brought into Congress to talk about things and discuss that as part of these congressional hearings, unlike, you know, myself, for example, right? So that's one of those distinctions. Also, the responsibility lies with their employers to understand what their employees are up to and conducting as part of compliance. And this was an inevitable fine for that company. Okay. Anyway, this has got some news surrounding it. They didn't punish him. They punished the company responsible for keeping him from doing stupid things with clients' money. Now, he wasn't doing anything with client money. You see, that's the point, is he wasn't doing anything with client money. This is about the implicit trust that operates within a regulated industry. That's what this is to do. It's to do with compliance as opposed to... Anyway, whatever. People don't need to know the facts. Don't ever spoil a good story with the facts. Gil, known as Roaring Kitty, was employed by MassMutual, right? So they would now then have, if they wanted to, they would go and pursue him. So under normal circumstances, say GameStop had only ever gone up to $5 and back to $4 again. At this point, what would be happening is Keith Gill would be getting fined, be getting sacked by the company, would be real, you know, depressed and having a real hard time at work. Luckily, though, he's a multi-millionaire. He doesn't give two fucks about MassMutual, and this is them getting their inevitable fine that they had to deal with, and, you know, that's that. MassMutual, according to state regulations, is supposed to monitor any social media account of its registered broker-dealers for recommendations of particular stocks. And it says according to state regulations, but I think it's probably, you know, worth pointing out that those state regulations are applicable in every single state because they're federal regulations. And while some saw Thursday's fine as a signal that authorities will crack down on key players in January's short squeeze, many of the people still find that fight took the news rather differently. On Reddit, some dude was saying this: "He did nothing wrong. Boomer's mad," claimed THETA therapy. There we go. That's super interesting. Well done. Thanks for that. Right. Weird how they managed to find someone related to the retail trader side of this, and I haven't seen a fine yet. Correct me if I'm wrong with the hedge funds. Yeah, correcting you if you're wrong. This is a fine for MassMutual, and not for Keith Gill, and it is not someone related to the retail trader side of this. And there you go. Corrected you if you were wrong. Hope you liked that. Logavin 16. Neat. Others tied the actions to regulator to pursue Gill via his former employer as another example of powers that be failing to recognize any short selling or market manipulation by hedge funds and institutional trading firms. Well, Melvin went down claiming the whole time that they had borrowed the shares. You know, they had borrowed the shares. They didn't fully go down either. And this is going to take a long time to pick apart. And the SEC haven't come back with their, having, you know, investigated this with GME, GameStop, AMC, and others directly, having got information from them. And they haven't come back. And they are focusing on this. It's taken a lot of their time up. And Gary Gensler's complained, if you like, about how much this is, you know, this is dominating the industry at the minute. Several times already, and they've just not come back with it yet, and that's, you know, it. But of course, that's another inaccurate statement. That growing theme has come to dominate most discussions, unfortunately, including the ones surrounding the Securities and Exchange Commission's investigation into January short squeeze that included stock like AMC, blah blah blah, and the result of which we reported in a coming Dropbox near you any day now. Ha 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 ha. According to many retail traders on social media, that report will likely address the actions of people like Gill and the practice of payment for order flow. Well, no, it won't address the actions of people like Gill. It might refer to the actions of people like Gill, but again, you know, Market Watch, get it right. That there is going to address the actions by investigate into what happened on a, you know, not on a soft qualitative type industry side of things like what they're doing with Gill, but on a quantitative hard case evidential assessment of what actually happened. So, you know, that's what that's for. Obviously, right? Obvious, right? Anyway, right, sound. So, yeah. So the actual people like Gill, practice of payment for order flow. Now, they will look into that, I suppose, but that's part of their overall investigation. And the powers, no fee trading apps like Robinhood, instead of addressing what they see as structural flaws in the stock market that favor well-capitalized short sellers that expense the little guy. Well, you know, yeah, you're right. They should be focusing on that, and hopefully that is what they look at. The consolidated order flow should be looking at as consolidated order trail. The CAT process should be looking at that. Now, I was trying to investigate into that when they've done it. I've explained it quite a bit. The CAT will prevent a lot of that, apart from in complex operations of options, complex option chains that you set up. That will be obfuscated from them. So that still is the case. They still have to develop the CAT for that. If you want more details about that, we can all discuss it, you know, at any time. You just need to kind of want to discuss it, you know, and meet me halfway with it. And yeah, we want to see there as well how they mark their orders, etc., and how they do that. That'll be good, you know, replacing the older system that they've just started doing. Kind of. Now the thing about it is that firms that were operating at over $35 billion or $30 billion, I think it was, needed to start doing this consolidated audit trail about 8 or 9 months ago now, I think. So this has been ongoing for quite a while. So it's still developing it, etc. And it's just a part of the big process. You know, this is a massive machine. We're talking about the biggest economy in the world that's got the biggest, most sophisticated systems in the world, taking a long time to get round because they've actually got a kind of antiquated judiciary and political system that has so many slightly kind of disconnected, discombobulated parts to it. And that's what's going on there. Anyway, they didn't punish him, explained our throwaway soon. They punished the company responsible for keeping him from doing stupid things with clients' money. Thanks for clearing that up. Useful. Right. Anyway, people would have needed to know that. Of course, by the way, clarity for people. Massively love Keith Gill. Think Roaring Kitty is fantastic. I think the SEC's got big problems. I think that there's corruption available, and that is a massive big deal. I applaud the SEC for giving out $110 million fee for whistleblowing to somebody recently. I encourage the transparency and all that stuff. You know, just so you know, because I don't want to deal with any crap. And then there was one other one, this one here, World Bank leaders, and we'll get round before markets open. I know this has been a long news section today, didn't do any news yesterday. We'll get around to talk about this. We'll go back to markets open in just a minute. World Bank leaders, including now IMF chief, pressured staff to boost China's ranking in report investigation fines. So they've been pretty quick to investigate this one, which is pretty good. So presumably they kind of knew that was going on anyway. World Bank leaders, including then chief Kristalina Georgieva, who is now managing director of International Monetary Fund, the IMF, applied undue pressure on staff. Now, this person, who's the managing director of the IMF, has got there's a lot of skeletons in those closets over there, right? And this is just another one coming out to be seen. So they put a lot of people under pressure doing business in 2018, according to investigation related September 16th. The report PDF, prepared outside of law firm Wilmer Hale at the request of World Bank's Ethics Committee, implicates Georgieva and then World Bank President Jim Young Kim, and casts a spotlight on China's influence at the institution. China's ranking in the 2018 report released October 2017 should have been 7 places lower at 85th rather than remaining at 78th, the lender said in a review. The report found the country's boosting appeared to be the product of 2 distinct types of pressure applied by bank leadership on the doing business team. Said Georgieva and a key advisor had pressured staff to make specific changes to China's data points, fudge the data on purpose, lie, fraud. World Bank employees also received direct, indirect pressure. So classic cartel fraud stuff. Georgieva said she disagreed. I don't agree with that. Fundamentally, the findings and interpretations of the report. I briefed the IMF executive 2 years ago. Georgieva left the World Bank and became the head of IMF. Yeah, nice. At the exit there into the sideways thing, a bit like Dominic Raab. Hey, Dominic Raab, the UK Foreign Secretary until the other day there. Dominic Raab dismissed from his post as Foreign Secretary for his terrible actions during the Afghan thingy. But in actual fact, what did they do? They made him the Vice Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister. There's a guy who's getting demoted. He's getting demoted. Dominic Raab. Dominic, you did such a bad job. Such a bad job there, Dominic. I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you by making you the Vice Prime Minister. So if I have to you're in charge. You're so bad. We can't trust you. We need to make sure that if anything happens to me, you've got complete control. Yeah, so same sort of thing over here. Findings. The report said that the push to boost China's score came at a time when the bank management was consumed with sensitive negotiations over a major capital increase. It was the Chinese-American trade war. It's Chinese-American trade war. It's what it was. Anyway, enough with that. Enough with that. Back to charts. Back to reality, of course, because this is reality. News is vanity, and insanity and technical analysis is reality. It's where reality meets the asphalt. Thanks to everybody for your donations and everything else during all that. Can I get your take on computer share and direct registration system? Yeah, sure. It's brilliant. Can we take a look? Sorry, man. We will talk about all these sorts of things throughout time. Thanks for an incredibly enlightening news roundup this AM. Thanks so much for that, Katie Babes. Really appreciate it. Good morning to you as well. Chris Sweeney chucked in a $5. You beaut. Looks like your harmonic is played out on the 4 hour. Thinking of putting a buy in for 220. Well, there we go. Wow. Brilliant, Chris Sweeney. Fantastic. Daniel Groves donated 5. Extra donation for telling the truth when the media keeps lying. Thanks so much. Paul B, you became a member, a Rocky Outcrop tician, no less as well. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate. Daniel Groves as well donated $5 earlier on. The Bleach chart is a great idea to help people overcome human psychology. Up to date at this point. Can I get your take on computer share and direct registration system? The direct registration system, computer share, all new. Waiting to see how these things pan out. Human implemented systems have always got a degree of corruption in them. It's kind of like the original sin of coding. Let's just see how things go. If you're within some time limit, you can get the same mug back. Oh my God, there's some chat about time limits and mugs. How could that be? Observe thyself. Good one, Rocky. Crushed that. Thank you so much. Massively appreciated. Here we are looking at the GME charts in the run up to markets opening. We've got roughly 2 minutes to go before that happens. Right now, that means, of course, that it is about 28 minutes after, I should say 29, because by the time you hear this, it'll be 29. It's 29 minutes after the hour, coming up to 9:30 New York time. That's right. The busybodies in the New York Stock Exchange don't like to start work at 9 a.m. Of course, they start at 9:30. Yeah. Because they've figured it out. They've got it figured out. Good on you guys. Well done. You got it figured out. It'd be interesting to see if we go to a 4-day working week in the world, what would happen to stock markets. Can't have a 4-day working week on stock markets. Surely not. Gosh darn it. We want them 24/7 at this stage. Right. Here we have it. We're at $206.86, and we're kicking about more or less where we left off yesterday. Thank you so much for the reminder for the timer. Trying to keep this thing working all the time. Hope that's it back working. Thank you again. Daniel Lesage, you dropped in a $5. That's a lucky $5. Thanks so much. Yeah. Big, handsome fella, yeah. So far, have we got GME operating within some sort of structure which is identifiable? How about those 3 touches towards the top side? How about this from this down here up to here and working up this sort of way? Is this kind of conceivable? If it is, then it looks like, you know, you've got that wedge type thing on the go. We don't want that to happen in terms of negativity. Pardon me, but of course that's the log scale. Boom. Linear scale, okay, didn't make a massive difference, but you know, you're going to see this less narrowing, and obviously more kind of just like a channel towards the top side. Now it's over on the linear scale now as well. This descending, broadening one broadens out even more, if you like, over here. And that. So I'm going to get rid of that previous one. It's kind of distracting, takes up a lot of room on the charts. And what instead we're looking at is the progression of this bad boy over here. $5 coming in from Lepton Inc. Thank you so much. Have you heard about CYN? This is not a ticker. Seems like a shady way for banks to steal money or offset for MOAS. CYN. I don't know, what is that? What's the acronym is that for? CYN. CYN in banks. Let's just see. CYN in banks. You can see how you can see my anxiety before starting the show and why I was 1 or 2 minutes late today when I ran a speed test and noticed that the speed test can't be completed due to a problem with the network. Try again later. It's like, you ain't got no speed, mate. CYN banks. Let's just look for this. CYN banks. What? On Facebook? Oh, that's the thing, is it? And everything. The CYN banks. It's funny when you do stuff like that, isn't it? CYN bank legislation. City National Bank lending things. CYN. No, man, Lepton. Sorry, man. I don't know what it is, and I don't know. And maybe we would. Oh wait, what's it say here? Credit yield note. The credit yield note. That credit yield note. Yeah, those things are mental, man. Those things are mental. Anything with note in the name, you need to stay away from because they're not secured. Yeah, they've got capital gains advantages, but if you're not actually trading this thing rapidly, gosh, get away with all that personal information. If you're not trading these things, rapidly on the fly, then you're exposing yourself to massive implications. That's why there's capital gains tax benefits. You don't get into an ETF to hold it for 18 months. You fucking mad? Have you thought about it? Have you put two and two together? Anyway, people seem not to. Whistle blow. Right, gap on the charts just down here, 207. We're up there at 209. We're testing this resistance. Naturally, today, coming back down and filling in this gap would be reasonable to think could happen. Doesn't have to. We talk about this all the time. Like we see over here at 191, we've got a gap that remains on the chart. Now, we could obviously still go back down and fill in that 191 gap. The fact that we're moving up just here is totally fine. This is a 15-minute time frame. Let's put this into context because, 4-hour time frame, you can see that it's just operating strictly within the bounds of where we were before. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Opening range taking us up above. You can see no gap on the 1 hour time frame as well, taking us up above our resistance line, our profit taking line, if you will. But this is kind of a function of the early volatility of the day. So if we come back down and fill in this gap, which like I say, I would not be surprised about. And if I was looking to buy into this right now, I'd probably hesitate and wait for that instead. Then there we have it. But of course, none of us are actually looking to buy this right this minute. We diamond hand this thing. So we'll come back and check in on that. See the almost inevitable gap fill in just a second here, etc. Check in with our other pal AMC come back down to what looks to me to be like a real organic movement down to this line over here, coming in and actually touching off of it today so far, the opening of trading. Hopefully that's it, hopefully that's all we really need to see from that one with the downward movement. We did, of course, like I say, fill in this gap in here at 44.44, 44.20, whatever. Would like to see this manage to find support. Now, that's not actually where that line should be, or is it? Is it? Yeah, it is. That's that Fibonacci. Let's measure Fibonacci from the low to the top, so just to keep an eye on the context, because obviously we're really, we are in a dodgy position here, essentially. Let's just draw it in so you can see the dodgy. Where's the dodgy? Right, so we're in a dodgy position here in the sense that we're below this 236 as well. So let's just have this as our kind of zone for today as we decide which overall direction we want to travel in. This is the question, in here, what direction will we travel in today? So that's the question. No need to have any implications from any of this stuff as well. Sorry, guys and girls, got to get away, got to take my... at least take my lines here and as well make them so they are not giving you any additional information. Right, great. So this is it. Now we're below this line currently. So being below 45.50 is a problem for us in the meantime. Being above 45.50 is a good thing, but of course it really, doesn't make a massive difference until we're above 47. Okay, so far we could say that we've conducted the expected move after, down the way from these highs. Lots of different ways of looking at this thing. If you wanted to, you could even look at it in a harmonics perspective. So let's just chuck in a harmonic. Makes it so I don't have to talk too much with regards to what's going on in here. It's not actually a harmonic pattern. It'd be more like one of the others, like the shark, etc. What with us having had a higher high, could be a cipher of some sort, etc. But we've had an up-down pullback down here, and really this just signifies to us that this zone in between here was not really the low to be looking to. Not really, not in this liquidity zone of the gap that we had before. This was movements up, down, up, and at this point, this was just inflection. It wasn't really support and resistance being built up. As you can see here, it was also not that good before. It was okay as resistance, but didn't operate for us as support. You would have hoped it would, but then naturally we moved down there. It's kind of an inevitability. So we're 5 minutes into the charts. Just check with GME real quick. Did we? No, we didn't. So we're still on that. Still exactly the same as we were before. Let's take a look at some other ones. AHT, Ashford Hospitality Trust. It came in and it filled in a flash that we had. Whoops! A flash that we had on the go here. Down at $13.99 at the minute. Haven't actually moved down as low as $13.75. So I'm curious as to whether or not I missed a flash from before, or missed one, but didn't mark it out from back in this territory or something like that. If there was one on here, just going to take a quick look just to see that I didn't miss something that I needed to pay attention to. Of course, it doesn't matter. The key component for us being really that we came back down to fill in the first flash, and that was, kind of the inevitability side of it. Where it goes after that is something that we are still looking at. Key things for people, if you want to take part in the evolution of this indicator, studying how things work within this zone is perhaps something to look to, and studying in terms of maybe perhaps the entry prices, etc., or in the length of this thing and the different implications that it has. There's plenty of things that could be looked at to really fully understand this zone, because of course people, when we talk about the DMI flash, the zone becomes very important to people, when really the main component of it, of course, is the candle after. Anyway, we filled that in. That operating currently as resistance for us. I feel like movements up above 14.23 will be fantastical for us. Having moved down as low as 13.70 yesterday, $14 being a nice round number as well, and the price is operating above that currently without any major gaps that need to be filled in or anything else like that. So I've had this kind of organic enough movement towards the downside. It did come in with a low, which was lower and bullishly convergent, but in a sense here, I wonder about it. I really do wonder about it compared to, there's bullish divergence on some places, but not everywhere. The DMI having bullish divergence is curious as well. So we've got bullish divergence on the DMI, as we can see. How would we know that? Well, we're looking at we want to see the negative line moving up towards the top and then not getting as high. Negative line here. This will be the negative line, has to be, doesn't it? And this has to be the negative line here, and we can see that there's downward slope. So there's a bullish divergence just between those two, making things a little bit harder for people today with these white colors, by the way. So what do we think here then? 1420 is a bit of a pivot point for us. Obviously, if we're looking down the way, 1332 seems to be marked in by me in the past for a reason, so I'm going to just assume that still is a reason. In terms of the movements back down, how have we done? Just measuring from this low over here. Measuring from this low, come on, trading view, give me that. There we go. Up to the high that we had, came back down, golden pocket, lovely. Well, just about 618 retrace, not the pocket, but right onto the 618. Other things that are curious that we've done well at is this butterfly pattern. Now, give me a second here, and I'll just go get the butterfly pattern chat. What you call that stuff? Slides, Google Slides, right? So, just a second. Butterfly, distinguished from the Gartley by the 786 fib retracement at point B, has a tight tolerance of 3%. As you can see here, it moved down and you're aiming for the 127 or the 1618. So back over onto the charts. Butterfly over here, aiming for the 127 or the 1618, measuring from X to A. Sorry, we came in for a 127. Perfect. So it did the harmonic. How lovely. Had a pause up here. The pause looked like a bull flag. So when this pause happened, we were hoping for it to go up. Katie Babes yesterday asked in the Discord, how would you be able to identify a pause? What does a pause look like? And I said, well, a pause can look like a bull flag. A pause in the market. Let's look and see when there's been like pauses in the markets. And let's bring up something that we can look at that's kind of generic enough that people won't have any sort of necessary real, attachment to. Pauses in the market, so you could have these pauses here in terms of lows. You can have pauses in terms of a little bit of consolidation, sideways price action. Got pauses all over the shop here in that sense. You can have a pause in terms of like this here. We reached up to a high, went a bit sideways, up to a high, but sideways. So you've got trending price action, and then you've got a high and a low. You've got this liquidity move here. The main volume passing through the middle, the extreme highs and lows being 50% above and below that. Clear market maker liquidity play. Stuff like that. Pauses in markets. Here's a kind of pause. Here's a pause. So it can be peaks, troughs. It can be at midpoints with consolidation. Here's another sort of pause in here. Here's another sort of pause in here. So pauses can look like many different forms. Right, brilliant. 41 minutes after the hour. Let's just check in. Let me just take a couple of seconds here to check in with everybody. We'll go back over to the GME chart as I do this, and I'll just check in with everybody and see how you're getting on in the world. Lovely. We're still up above that. We're still up above that line. I don't care if we never fill in that gap, by the way. I just want to see us moving on up the way. I will, of course, remember that there is that tiny little gap in there. So I'll just pop in another one of these doodads just here so that we can not forget about it in the future. And yes, give me a second and I'll pop in here and chat to the chatter box for just a minute. See how you're all getting on. How are you all getting on? How are you all getting on? Thank you so much. You're the best. No, you're the best. Lepton, I agree, but I say hype instead of trash. Lol, although the majority is trash. Wonder what you're chatting about there. There isn't anyone else who streams TA, just these two. That's it. Everything else is trash. Hype instead of trash. Depends. There are some people who are good at this stuff. There are some. Do you want to see who some of them are? You want to see who some of them are? Woo! Let's go take a quick look. I'll show you who some of these people are. Where we have them. Trade Spotting. Here's good. He's obviously mentioned. Here's one of these two. Highly recommend that you subscribe to Trade Spotting. TRADESPOTTING. Here's another guy who's good at trading. Warrior Trading. Warrior Trading. This guy, he's pretty good. Good guy. Interesting. Nice guy. Yeah, nice guy. It's not my style. It's not my style. It's that, but he's a good guy. Here's another one. Crown Crypto Cave. Crown's Crypto Cave. Here's another one that's decent. Shout out to Crown's Crypto Cave. Good guy. What's that? What's that thumbnail? Jeepers Crown, man. So anyway, let's just see. Now you'll notice I didn't let his video play. I wanted to leave a comment. I didn't want to actually give him a view, which would distract away from his stats. Okay, so I didn't let it play because I can't afford to give him the time here at the minute. Why has he got a thanks button? Oh, what? I want that. Do I have that? I want that. Anyway. So there's a couple of good ones for you, right? There's other ones, but they don't talk about what we talk about. You want to talk about stuff that's trash. You've got, so I'm not going to talk about the trash. Right? Don't talk about trash. Oh, there's Ant-Man. 600 of these guys. Give them a like. Hit like, ants. Lol. We like to raid those guys. Cool. Right. Anyway. Oh, look, there's my Facebook. Don't look at that. Right. Let's not forget FU. 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 Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Need to... sorry. I was just talking about... really high level stuff. Let me just bring up the YouTube again for questions for a second because I don't want to forget about these guys. YouTube. FU money. Where is it? FU money. Great guy. 120 subscribers. Want to get some more subscribers. Got loads of videos about how to use TradingView. Really, really, really useful. Really good stuff. You've got Tony Wright, my mate. Tony Wright. Spelled his name wrong there. Who is a really great guy as well. Where is he though? He's not the beardy one. He's not that one. He's not the beardy one. We know the difference. Fake Tony Wright. It's not the real Tony Wright. Where's the real Tony Wright? It's annoying. It doesn't. YouTube doesn't want this guy to show up. You know, he put in his real name. He would just rather, and there you have to go scroll down that far. 189 subscribers. Great guy. Not made a video for a few weeks. I hope he's doing well. I'll have to send him a message and make sure he is. Still not heard from anybody about how to trade this thing. Still not heard from anybody. THETA. Want to know? Do we need to do the TA on it ourselves? I wonder. Have I got the screen open? I do. Right. Great. Keep the timer working for people. Hopefully. And checking how you're doing. Spend a couple of minutes here chatting with you. Thank you. Homer Simpson. Okay, Rocky Outcrop, but do any of them encourage me to do squats at 6 a.m? Not sure they do. Probably say they don't. If you donate crypto, who pays the taxes? Nobody. What are you talking about? Oh, right. Oh, no, me. I would. I have to. It's the same as the crypto's free to transfer almost nearly. If you donate crypto, who pays the taxes? Well, I have to pay taxes on everything, don't I? Katie pays the taxes. Hell yeah, that'd be cool. Thanks, Katie. That'd be handy. Daniel Groves. I bet I can get behind that. What can you get behind? Katie, yeah, exactly. I'll take one for the team as long as that means I get the OnlyFans bonus content. Great. Okay, so everybody's doing well. Let me know if there's anything specific you'd like to take a look at or any particular TA lessons that you'd like to go over or anything like that today. And all that. Rocky Outcrop, can you do a poll on stop loss and take profits on THETA? Yes, thanks, Christy. This is something we're chatting about yesterday. We've been kind of slacking. So stop loss, entry, take profit. Do you have? Are you willing to take responsibility for your own trading? This is the first question, right? Then we can talk about stop losses, etc. First question: are you responsible? Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to? Are you willing to? Right? It's a big question. Big question worth asking. Looked at the wrong camera there. Big question worth asking. Are you willing to? I'm only going to let this poll run for a minute. It's rhetorical. It's a rhetorical pun. I just want people to realize that this account, the channel account, it's your responsibility. Are you willing to take responsibility for it? If it's just simply that you're not willing to take responsibility for it, then you've got to think about how really you're going to take responsibility for your own account, and which will actually determine your own future. So brilliant. Good to see that there's some people who have jumped in there to give an immediate answer that they are willing to take responsibility. Good for you. Taking responsibility is the first step on anything. It's not Alcoholics Anonymous that own that one. Stop loss, etc. Right now, what would it? Oops, we need to put in a poll here for people. Kind of, is THETA? In fact, is THETA the crypto you'd like to trade? And be honest here, there could be others. Yes or no? Answer yes if you do, or if you don't know, answer no if you prefer to trade a different cryptocurrency. And if you prefer to trade a different cryptocurrency, then I'll take a suggestion and we'll look at the TA for it just now, and we can decide some things about that just now. So there's a poll in there. I don't know if that worked or not. It hasn't shown up at my end. Oh, there we go. Right, no, big time. Right, people don't want to trade that one. They want to trade something else. Fantastic. You're going to have to let me know what it is. You're going to have to let me know what it is that you want to trade. Okay, you're going to have to let me know what it is that you want to trade. Right. So you're going to have to let me know. If you're saying no in there, it's because you've got another idea. Don't just say no if you just don't know, because that would be sabotaging the poll, obviously, right? So don't sabotage the poll. Instead, answer either yes or no, because you've got an answer. Can you take a look at PLTR? I picked up on it yesterday and using it to learn some TA skills, says BavDav. Yeah, BavDav, I can take a look at that, but I will take a look at that when you subscribe to this channel, my buddy. Subscribe to the channel, right? I'm going to check over here. I don't know why I hit that button. I'm going to check over here on my... That was cool, isn't it? I'm going to check over here on my Streamlabs thing. Scroll down. Don't see that you've subscribed to the channel, matey. Don't see you've subscribed. Don't see it. Are you subscribed? Are you subscribed? I don't see it, so I'm not going to look at that. Sorry, man. Rocky Outcrop, XRP. There we go. There's somebody who has subscribed to the channel asking me to take a look at something, which is cool. Don't know why those transitions suddenly started working when they weren't working before, but there you have it. XRP. Let's go take a look at XRP. Oh, XRP USDT. And I'm going to read these comments too, because I don't want to miss out on it. Thoughts on Shiba? Shiba, kind of, I don't have many thoughts on it. I mean, it's a massive supply token designed to be cheap until such times as it's maybe no longer cheap. That's what it's designed for, it seems to me. I'd love to trade Tezos, says Marty V. Quality. We can take a look at that. We've got Cowboy Chipmunk. What did Cowboy Chipmunk say? I'm just buying and holding at the moment. I don't have the capacity for more than that right now. Fair enough. Chris Sweeney, Cardano or AGIX. Jordan Buchanan wants Cardano as well. Batman Jama, XRP. So someone needs to sell THETA. So someone needs to sell the THETA. Do I actually have THETA? Yeah. I mean, you would have to tell me. I have a position here. You would have to tell me where to take profit in on this one. So that's something, as well. So you'd have to do that. Kieran Norman, please. Oh yeah. Smug Slug, like and subscribe, fannies. Absolutely. One of these lesser known top 10 from the news. They're not lesser known, man. The top 10 from the news they're all massively well known. Every single one of them. There wasn't a lesser known one in there, really, to be honest with you. I mean, what did they do to come up with that news article? I'll just show you right now. Bitcoin, cool, we'll talk about that. Ethereum, cool, we'll talk about that. Cardano, yeah, we'll talk about that. Binance Coin, we'll put that on the list. Tether, we'll put that on the list. XRP, we've talked about that too much recently. Let's talk about Stellar instead. Okay, Solana, that was something people asked me to take a look at. I'm going to take a look at that as well. Polkadot, oh, brilliant, yeah. Dogecoin, that's a meme. USD, stablecoin. Uniswap, well, we don't even know what we're talking about. Let's stick something else in there. What are we missing? Oh, I know, Litecoin. Can't leave Litecoin off the list. What else are we missing? Bitcoin Cash. There we go. We're done. Good work. High fives all around. Yeah. That's how they made that article. If they did any more work than that at all, I'd be hugely surprised. Hugely. because it was bollocks, by the way. They're stellar there. Just so you know. So it was pretty bollocks, that article. Merrick, chief check on ESPR. Jamie's looked at this last 2 days for me as well. Just want to hear how you feel about the action today so far. Excellent, cool. Okay, Merrick, no problem. I've got no idea what it is. You know, I watch Jamie's videos, but only to look at the chat. I exclusively look at the chat. Same with him when he watches mine. Jamie has no idea what my TA is at the end of the day. So often after my video, Jamie's like, "So what did you say about stuff?" And I'm like, "I can't remember, man." And then, or after his video, I'm like, "What did you say was happening?" He's like, "I'm not too sure." And I'm like, "Okay, it's fine." Bav Dav, welcome to Early Support. Really appreciated. Christy saying, sent over 600 TRX there. You did? F in hell. Shit, man. Quality. Right. Brilliant. I wonder how much that's worth. Right. So, couple of things we need to look at. Let's just run through some crypto real quick. Brilliant. Come up to 3 o'clock. XRP here, by the way. First off, then, we're already on XRP. Kicking around at $1.06. You can see the lows are coming down to that $1 area, but not actually taking it out. Managing your risk at $1 is, you know, something that you can do, because as we can see here, this whole entire consolidation period has been above the $1. Now there is a wick that took us down to 95 cents. You can be aware of that. You know, a liquidity hunt, a stop hunt could and would take the prices down to those areas. Something to be aware of. But we're consolidating here at this stage after having had that drop. That drop from the highs in September the 7th. That was in at 140. That was a target they were looking to. Only just snuck up towards the golden pocket. Didn't quite take it all out, obviously. We'd hoped that it would. Naturally, we were looking to try and take profits at 146. We were wise to the idea of taking them at 140 area as well, though. So we've moved on a little bit since then with that retrace down the way. And so far, we've managed to, of course, halt the decline as it stands. So we've halted that decline, and we can now see, is there you know, the chance of us turning around at this point here. Obviously we're going to see chop, etc. Or are we, in fact, on this time frame? The ADX is quite high. So that's interesting. What time frame is this? Let's go at the 1 hour time frame. ADX is also picking up over here as well, isn't it? It is a bit. And this is going to be the negative, right? That's the DI negative. Yep, DI positive right down here. Lows, real low. While we're moving up. Interesting one. Short term, I'm positive on this, but I'd be looking at taking profit perhaps in around about that 117,777 area. If we did move down the way, I'd be looking to manage risk probably in around about $1, but would I do it a couple of cents higher? Possibly. You know, the fees are small enough, etc. I'd probably manage risk fairly tightly on this one if we're to get in here now. That's not necessarily in terms of the trading account, because we want to get the best value trades on that one. Of course, if we are looking to see when things actually turn around, it's going to have to be above that 117 zone, isn't it? Just out of interest. Yeah, 236 is right where we are. Oh, if we can take out that 16, that area, that's again brings us up towards these zones. But and you can see that the last one hit off the 382 as well. Big resistance area here, and recently as well on the chart. So yeah, you'd be looking to take profit in at that 117, but at the 50%, you could be aiming up to 125, etc. as well. But you'd obviously need to have momentum along the way with you on that one. 4 hour time frame. How are we doing? 3 lows in here, bullishly divergent, moved up a little bit. Good. Didn't take out the highs, and we've got a flash coming up here. Yeah, so there'll be some this is what I mean, like in terms of taking profits. You know, as soon as we move up towards these targets, the chances are the flash. Oh, in fact, the flash has ended already. All right, wait a minute. Where did the flash end at? Here. Perfect. 108. Well, you know, go up to 108, stick in our stop loss above profit, move on up a wee bit. Easy trade to have. That would be something that you could look to if you were just short term. I mean, that would be something you could look to if you were short term scalping this thing and crazy enough to take advice off of some idiot on the internet who openly tells you that they're not a financial advisor and to not take their advice, especially whenever the stochastics are still pointing down in negative stats. High risk, you'd have to be tight on your management of it. We're also talking about other ones. Cardano was one that got suggested as well. You can see, is this operating any differently? It's got the same kind of consolidation effect. September highs down to these lows, moved up the way. Let's see if there's any differences in the analysis, distinct differences. 236 is below us. Sure, we're just at the 382 resistance, aiming up the way. 50% didn't really work for us so well. Logarithmic chart, that's a bit better, perhaps. So yeah, anyway, it's ranging until such times as it isn't, and being above or below these targets is when you're going to have an idea about where your next big target to go to. Meantime, you're just operating in between those areas. Let's take a wee look at XLM. Somebody asked me to take a look at that recently, and I didn't. Exactly same story again here. Different, going to be slight differences in numbers along the way every time, and all that, but the story is the same. We're between a couple of areas. Logarithmic, linear. I mean, it really makes very, very little difference here. You can see in the logarithmic chart that we're hitting the 50% line and retracing back down. Taking out that line, you would be looking down a wee bit of, you know, negativity. But if we did go in for any lows, probably have bullish divergence. We've got nearly got hidden bullish divergence here if that's the case. But this is low, two lows, lower low. It's consolidation in a side in a range. You know, that's where we are right now on these term time frames. Let's keep looking again because there's Solana. Somebody want to take a look at Solana. Oh, it's USDT as well. Different. Rolling over a little bit though on this one. Accumulation is ceased on that there. The bearish divergence, bearish convergence is bearish since the highs in September down to these lows. But have we done enough? Have we done enough just to pull back on this one? That move over there never worked out. Obviously, did get obviously enough of a move to be able to manage it and end up in profit. So that's the key thing, isn't it? Always. Let me get this. There we have it. Up to the high. What have we got over here? Yeah, we never pulled back down as far as the 236 quite yet on the logarithmic scale. We have come as far as the 382 on the linear scale there. You know, and you could see a turnaround if you were to, and you were looking at this as being a, you know, a natural 382 retracement in an otherwise bullish market. Then you could be easily aiming up for a profit taking target. The safest profit taking target for you to be aiming to is going to be 180. Maybe, you know, I'd say that you'd be getting greedy above $200. You're getting greedy above $200 until such times as it is at $220, in which case, you know, and that 10% is a much higher risk move than the 10% from 140 to, or then the 140 to 154, 154 to 170, 170 to 190. All of those moves significantly less risk than the 200 to 220 move, right? So if you're looking to take profit somewhere, it'd be somewhere where your risk dynamic changes, because as a trader, what do? You buy and sell thingies, you buy and sell risk. So yeah, people don't want to trade. That's it. We know it. We don't want to do a trade on that. So Solana, there's an option for us if we were looking at something different. But there's other ones as well. What do we want? What do we want? Why did somebody say in the word profit? That's really cool. If that's what you're calling me, thanks so much. If that's some other YouTube channel. So Katie Babes, I won't bring down chat here, but I may bring it up in my stream after Rocky's done today. Love all. Oh, what are you talking about? Oh. Whoa. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? F you is a bit of a play the hand you're dealt day for me. Oh. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. This, I hope everyone's well today. If you're not doing very well today, then buddy, much love to you. All right, it's much love to you. Give Odin a hug, and take it easy, my mate. All right, and enjoy your stream when you're doing it. And my DMs are always open. Yep, they always are. Brilliant. So, what other cryptocurrencies could we take a look at? Because I'm sure there are some interesting ones. Looking over my watch list here, got some real negativity. Let's take a run through some of the typical cryptos that I like to look at. Let's start off with a quick look at Bitcoin, having moved up towards the 618 golden pocket in here when it actually did turn around. That's why, not because of the environmental bollocks. We've pulled back towards the 236 at least, but have we actually done enough to get a turnaround here? I mean, you know, we told about the 236, brilliant. You know, 47,000 would be how you would manage your risk. We're at 47,000 at the minute. Ticking past that, I expect to move to at least 46,000, probably down as low as 44,500, because we've talked about that number loads, and we know in the history that this has been a big inflection point for us in the market at times, in it around about this, in this, if I could just draw it in accurately, in around about that price there. It's been a big inflection zone in the market for us. So that, I've screwed my charts. That's better. So yeah, So so this has not been this is been a negative price action. I'll just hide everything so you can see negative price action dropped down, consolidating sideways, but it has moved higher than those altcoins. Just looking over here at the Bitcoin dominance, see we dropped down, but we have picked up a little bit over the last few days. A little bit of that dominance has come back into play in this area of the last few days. So we've not changed anything. Still very much a downward trend. And as you can see here, the RSI, how it operates, we haven't actually really cracked into this zone yet. So we talked about this before. Until such times as we actually get up into this, then we're still looking for movements back down the way. It's we could start to consolidate in at this zone, without able to take out either of them. But this area where we're at is the overbought territory. How do we know that? Because we were just down here in the official oversold territory just beforehand, so it's inevitable. What's going on here? The undo button pissing me off there. So yeah, well, we could, so fuck it, let's just move on. Ethereum, no, let's just look up the way here. What's this one? Forex, skip it. Tron, down 5% today. Thanks, Christy. I should maybe take a look at the Tron chart. Here's Tron, oofed. Again, slightly different from the others. This little head and shoulders affair at the top. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Not so close available there. Let's do the 1 hour time frame. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Neckline. Measured move. Has it been completed? Shut up, ambulance. Hitting the undo button is having random results for me right now. It just did undo and I'm back on Dow Jones. Weird. Right, so this is this one. I could have had a head and shoulders in here. Can't be bothered using the head and shoulders tool. It's one of the worst ones on TradingView. So the move was about 12.3 down to 11.3, so 1. So from there, where did it go down to? 10.5, more or less, done the head and shoulders, right? So could this eventually start to see a turnaround? This low here, which is not as low as the previous low over here, is lower. So we've got hidden bullish divergence. Got a turnaround on the stochastics 1 hour time frame. Could we be looking at something decent there? Could we be? And let's take a look at some other ones as well. We've got Harmony 1. Where are you at? 15 cents. Woof. Big pullback, downtown area we'd already identified. Could this be it? Bullish divergence along the way. Yep, could this be the area where we get a low risk turnaround? We could manage a risk at 15 cents, manage a risk at 14.8. 14.8, take a trade from 15 something up the way. Do we want to do that? That's another one to ask about. We've got these wee green ones from time to time showing up there. They're just forex. Litecoin's down 2%. Kyber network token is doing all right. It's better than Bitcoin. It's only down half a cent. So KNC is the Kyber network crystals, they call them. It's another one of these DeFi type projects. It's an exchange. You pay your fees on the exchange in Kyber network crystals. So essentially, it's kind of like an exchange token, but it's a decentralized exchange. So you can understand there. So the Kyber network token becomes a governance token. These words might be confusing to you, but governance is like having a share and gives you voting rights. Up to the 618, obviously there, back to the 382, found support, 2 lows, double bottom, bullish divergence, but bullish divergence on a double bottom here. It's actually slightly lower. Is it? No, it's actually slightly higher, so it's not quite got bullish divergence, but you get the point in this area. Managing your risk by not taking out that wick at 1.8. We're at 1.85. So do you want to do that one? Profit taking targets on it could easily be up there at 2. So, there's a 10% move to be had there on that one. For example, right? Just continuing on the way here, doing a lot more crypto today than I have done for a while. It's 3:05. We'll check in with our 2 favorite stocks again in a moment. Actually, just checking with them just now, real quick. GME 210. 15-minute time frame. if we get supported here, great, we can move on. If we want to come down and test it, then we'll fill in that gap. If the next target towards the top side, 215, obviously want to take that out again. It's where we had our previous high, but we're actually aiming up towards 222. All the twos is where we're aiming currently. We could, of course, be looking for a discount on our buy-ins at 206. And if we fail and we push past that, then we're staying very cautious for a move perhaps to 197. Failure at 197, we're staying very cautious because we could go to 185 again. But right here, right now, we're relying on the support, and we don't give a fuck if this is a positive or negative candle right here, right now. We can see that it's a negative one, but it's about the closure of it now and how we survive over the next wee while. This is a 15-minute time frame, so we're not wetting our pants exactly. AMC pushed down below this territory, so you can see inflection right in here and in here. This is the 15-minute time frame. If I jump up to the 30-minute time frame, then it doesn't convert that candle into a doji. Would have been nice had it done so. I was kind of hoping that it would in a sense, but you get the point here that we have, you know, shaken around a wee bit. The undo button not working for me today is bizarro. So moving around here, now we've taken out that wick of that low. It's not exactly great, is it? This is forming a high, a low. This is a low and a high, then lower. This is a slightly different dynamic than a lower high. So naturally, 43, take that out. I'm straight away looking to 40, straight away where that gap is. So we've not taken it out yet. Brilliant, good. Let's not take it out. We've got this previous low over here. If we find support at 45 and can move up from there, fantastic. It would leave us with, you know, a nice like turnaround on the stochastic, almost there. But we have to, yeah, this would be a typical area for us to turn around at. You can see how this at 40, I expected to turn around at 40, the DM negative, but it didn't. Really hard for anybody to see what's going on here into the colors, you know, to not be able to just rest on your laurels and let the colors do the talking for you, which is good. I think it's really interesting. I think maybe I'll keep this going next week. I'm enjoying it because I know how challenging it is for everybody watching. So anyway, back on with the crypto show, because these two, frankly speaking, they're boring in comparison. Sorry. Bitcoin, especially when I'm invested in both of them, I'm not planning on selling, you know, so let's just face facts. Got a real nice, Katie, you're looking to see what a pause can look like in markets. I mean, this is a real nice looking one just here. Whoa, fuck, what, why? All right, now back on AHT. What was I even looking at there? I don't know. This one? Link, right. Where has this come into? Again, quick, easy lessons. Like I draw in Fibonacci's. When I draw in the Fibonacci's, I'm looking and seeing, you know, where is our liftoff point, and is it debatable? The difference between these two areas is going to be so narrow in terms of the outcomes, and I'll just draw in and show it to you that it's not the biggest deal. See, that's we didn't come to. We came around to the 618, touched it just slightly over here to this low instead, and we just dipped into the golden pocket. My temptation would have been initially to draw this in, given the inflection here, just from the last low before the high up towards the top. This is when things turned around, and this is the retrace that I'm interested against, as opposed to the volatility that existed in the initial crash in this chart, on this chart. I know I've done it differently already in today's show. I know I have. In here, $27, $28. Oh, that's the perfect area. That was previously resistance and a take profit zone. Let me just go back over and kind of go up to the 12-hour time frame or something to give us a better impression of this thing. So where is she? Look at all that colorful stuff back when colors were a thing. Gosh, can you imagine? We don't do colors on this show. Just kidding. Right, so yeah, so looking to the left, yes, this was, you know, for example, in here and in here, sort of support resistance. Over here, you know, another sort of target for us. Actually, no, sorry, in here, another target for us as well. This is where that 382 was in the past. So this is a number. It's where we've come down to is the golden pocket there on that one. So far turning around. Obviously, if we were to take out this high, it's not obvious, so I'll just show you, sorry. If we were to take out this high down to this low, come on, then we're taking out the 236. Sorry, that might not be so clear, but we'd be taking at this 236 over here if we move up past 28, 29. So then our next target becomes 31, but actually our next target becomes 33. Why is it red? Anyway, our next target becomes 33, which is in there red on my right, on my axis there, my y-axis. By the way, if you ever want to know how to remember the difference between the x and the y, if you're looking for x and y-axis, oh, I bet you my timer's not working. I bet you people have been asking me for it and everything else. This isn't. I don't think this is something necessarily things. How to remember which one is which? You can think which comes first in the alphabet. That's X, by the way. X. And then the phrase along, you know, it's like where's the bedroom? Well, it's along the hall and up the stairs. That's how you can remember it. X then Y. Along the hall, up the stairs. That phrase. It's an easy way to remember. It's just so which one's which? You got the x-axis and the y-axis. Along the hall, up the stairs. Y is up. 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 Say it fast 10 times. Y is up. 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 So Y is up, my friends. Which one is the up axis? Y is up. 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 So the x-axis. There you go. Y is up. Y is the up axis. There you go. Little one to help you remember the difference between X and Y. It's the sort of thing that not everybody needs to know, but it might be a sort of little lifesaver for some people who are like, God, that always does my head in, and you've just helped me with that one. Who knows? Doji-ish type candle here, does that reflect, you know, the fact that there's a degree of volatility in here? So would you be waiting to get a retest of this zone before moving up the way? Maybe you would, you know. Other things, let's just crack on. I'm sorry again if anybody's in there chatting to me trying to get my attention and I'm just doing my own thing over here, but it is what it is. There's Cardano, ALGO, one of the ones that actually operated slightly different in the markets again recently. Look at that load of sideways price action. This is the 12-hour time frame, so we're not messing around. That's back to August 2020. The next high that came in was on 11th of February 2021. Recently, things moved towards the top side. I wonder if in any way this is why Tony Wright is not being visible so much recently, because I know that he's got heavily invested in this one. So good on him. Maybe he's away off just having a holiday. You never know. Hope so. Really do. Movements towards the top side so far, taking us back down as far as, I mean, this is sort of fairly standard work, isn't it? To test, 382, that's a fairly standard way for things to turn around. They could turn around there. You know, you're going to be much more happy with your trade above all the zeros 4659, but here down at all the zeros 4, there's an easy enough way to manage your risk. If you were to drop down past their sort of previous wick, you could just ditch it because you know that there's like plenty of scope for volatility, and that it could move down the way, and you could be targeting 30 for a better entry, or 3, or all the zeros then 3. But you know, it's possible, it's doable. Big increase in volume as we move towards the top side, up down, but let's just bear in mind that this is a coin which when it puts in highs, it moves, right? This thing moves, okay? Up, down, moves. So nice little wedge that we had back here. Big movement from there to there. Saw a golden pocket, you know, So let's just see, would we have got a golden pocket against this? I mean, obviously, since we took out the lows, we obviously did, and then some. Was there inflection at the golden pocket? There was. Above, it went down past the golden pocket, up above it, down and past it, but it went through that zone a couple of times along the way. Over here in the past, you know, a low to a high, over here in the past. This is just showing you that it's typical movements in a market, but it's also showing you the typical volatility within this market. It's as opposed to doing some sort of historical volatility measurement ourselves. You can see we dropped down, inflected at the 618, moved up, hit the 50%, failed to take it out. That's of course failing to take out a 236 Fibonacci. By the same token, on the top side, as you can see here as I draw this in, 236 lining up naturally with that. You can tell just by looking, fuck off. Sorry. You can tell just by looking, that that's where that is. It's the natural harmonic when you get these two things relating to each other. Anyway, then you pull down the way, after that inflection. So it's very typical in this market. So the fact of the matter is that we've come down as far as the 382 overall. I mean, where would you be targeting? I think it'd be sensible to be targeting 30, but who knows, you know, because we could see a turnaround here, and it'd be therefore probably worthwhile being fairly tight on managing your risk if we were to simply go up based on some sort of natural retrace type argument. Right, brilliant. That's pretty cool. All those colors on those Fibonacci's in the past almost look horrible compared to our now lovely looking white stuff. Band, a token that's actually been doing okay recently after the pullback. Another one that's got a bit more of an uptick, having never really fully quite recovered along the way compared to its bigger competitor, Chainlink. Let's just do a little comparison here. Chainlink, LINKUSDT on the same charts here. And so you can see these, obviously they operate very similarly anyway, these coins and all that, but but September came in here. This is 15th of August or so. Highs at that point, dropped down the way, went a bit deeper with band, didn't quite recover quite as much, bit deeper, didn't quite recover as much, looking similar, but down here at 950, well, Link sits up there at 28, you know, we're a third of the price of Link, whereas in the past, at certain times, here at 160, we got a big convergence that was 72 to 160, started to get a lot closer here at Chainlink prices in around about this time frame, where on the July the 6th, 2020, Chainlink was $4. On July the 20th, 2020, Band was $4. They do the same sort of thing. Chainlink established better tech. Band does the same thing, gets that industry rising tide thing. Over here in 12th of August 2020, Band $17, Chainlink $18, $19. Got so close right there. Big drop down. Band went down to $3.70. Chainlink went down to, you know, 8, 9, 10. Chainlink back up now at $58. $52. Oh, that was the high in May. Went up to the high in May, $52. The high here, $20. So 50% difference. So anyway, it's an interesting one. Can we see any sort of difference here? We're obviously a third of the value at the minute of Chainlink. Is there that DAO sort of divergence type theory thing to look at? Is that a thing for us? Continuing on here, there's two other ones I want to look at. DREP. This is an ID token. So there's another thing about being able to have a digital ID, which people want for kind of some reason. Don't ask me why. Just kidding. It's actually really important. So you've got a digital ID representation. That's what DREP try and do. I'm not massively impressed by the company, etc. Why is that? That's just, I've only got it versus that. Let me just look. DREP USDT. So anyway, we're in the green today. Fuck me. I wish we have had some of this talked about recently. 8th of April all the way up to there. Went up, wolf, from holy shit. It went up from 2 pence to $3.85. Huh. Well, I'm glad I own some of that. Anyway, I'm not going to TA on that one. I'm just shocked. Wanting to check my crypto account where I've got that sort of huddled away somewhere. Anyway, lols. What else do we have? I want to take a look at hot. I'm really happy to see that. I want to take a look at hot USDT. These are all things I've talked about in the channel. All of them. All of these things I've talked about in the channel numerous times. Numerous times. So just so you know, hot over here, holochain, interesting one in terms of, numerous things about it. It's an interesting one. It's not amazing by any chance, but again, like SHIB, a token which is cheap. Over here in 12th of March 2020, it cost you 0.0001. And then over here in April, it cost you 0.03. So you've knocked a couple of decimal places off of that, which is good. So 1000x type of shit, 1000%, sorry. And then up and down a bit. Now this is the high in April. This is the high in April. Moved down. This is the low in July. This is the high in August. This is the September high. And then we can see that the consolidation in here, the effect that we're having, which is not a million miles away from a lot of the other cryptos. Could we get a thing? couple of lows in here. This low not quite as low. If it were to be, you'd have bullish divergence. It's kind of, you know, it's malaise, but going up. It would have been cool had that jumped a whole bunch. Ethereum Classic, maybe that deserves a look in. Here's Ethereum Classic, $57. Same Z's. So yeah, that's tons and tons of crypto TA for people. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of it. Interesting stuff indeed. Interesting stuff indeed. Right, so you know, you can let me know what you want to have investments in. Oh, we never looked at Tezos, my friend. Tezos. Now Tezos, you did good. And do you remember over here when I explained about trends? Do you remember when I explained about trends? Do you remember? We're looking for higher low, a higher high, higher low. We're talking about the trend, and what's happened with Tezos is it's actually managed to do it. It's actually managed to do it from this point onwards up the way, and we can measure, you know, how that's gone for us along the roads. Here, when we came in for this high, we came back down, didn't quite get a 50% retrace back down the way. Interesting, you know, got the 382 though. Here, didn't quite get a 236. Could we? Yes, we could. Could 583 be a good buy price? Could be. If we push on past that, 477, 412, 344, this is nice. High, higher highs along the way. What have we got on the RSI? Bit of bearish divergence there. A little bit of the old bearish divergence in the RSI. What have we got in the accumulation distribution? Bit of the old bearishy divergency there. What have we got on the DMI? Bit of the old bearishy divergence over there. What have we got in the stochastics? Bit of the old bearishy divergence over there. But flying down to the 236, can we get a turnaround here on this? Obviously, we pushed past it, but if we pull around, the anchor point would drag us up closer to that midline. The MACD hasn't got as much of a look in today, has it, as previous days, partly because it's at the bottom of the screen. That's not hidden bearish divergence, and it's bullishly convergent on those highs. So could the MACD kind of signal to us that we're actually only going to see it go as low as the 236? Could the RSI bouncing off the neutral line also signal that we've maybe, you know, seen that already? Could do. 4 hour time frame where I like to look. 1 hour time frame. Right. Here, more or less done, but maybe not quite. You know, maybe this is done. Maybe we should trade the account off the back of just these flashes alone. Should that what we do? Is that what the channel account should be? Should the channel account also be an account which directly reflects this indicator and the success of this indicator for us as traders? Should that be what the account is? Anyway, nice delay on this one as THETA has managed to pull itself back up a little bit. Let's see. Yes, I did. I told me to send it in TRX. I did. Let me just check the account, by the way, because that's very kind of you. Let's just a big shout out to Christy. Anybody can do this. If you want me to take a look at something, then do overview. Then you can donate to the account. Thanks so much. You're on fire today. Literally beast mode achieved. That's fucking awesome. Thank you so much. I never know, you know. Wow, brilliant. It's arrived. Fiat and spot here. So let's just see. Ding, 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 ding. Where is that? Tron at the top. Brilliant. Yeah, what I was meaning, by the way, was to send it on the USDT network, but he sent it in the Tron one, and the address was correct because you can send Tron to that same wallet address. Brilliant, fantastic. That's great. In fact, you know, maybe even gone up a few pence in value, etc., since you sent it. Mwah, perfect. It's interesting. It's in the account there. It's one of the biggest ones, you know, biggest value-wise. Maybe this has got too much buying power compared to the other ones, you know, in terms of our portfolio. Let's maybe think about selling some of this Tron together. Tron for, do we want another currency? For instance, we could trade it between XRP. You know, we could trade it between is BNB not on here? Yeah, we could trade it between BNB. You know, one of the coins we didn't actually take a look at. Let's take a quick look at BNB as well. BNB USDT over here, same pattern in terms of the drop down, of course. Pushed up past those highs, which is good because we don't have hidden bearish, but whatever, doesn't actually, yeah, we don't have hidden bearish divergence, bullish convergence across the board, with the potential for, nope, not got it there. Oh, I bearish divergent on the MACD and on the MACD, the DMI. Don't know why I'm getting that name wrong today. Interesting. There's actually just been a cross on this one as well. Well, the ADX remains above 21. What are we looking at over here? BNB versus USDT. This could drop a little bit with that cross. Interesting stuff. Judicious, you know, need to not be put too much weight on this, because this would be orange if we hadn't changed it to white. It would be orange if we hadn't changed it to white. It would be orange if we hadn't changed it to white. Undo, please work. Ah, fuck. Undo, please work. Ah, fuck. That's annoying. Why does it not work today? So, but it's there. It's not the best signal to get in the world. So, you know, Tron itself didn't look too bad. It looked like it could be turning around. So, wouldn't want to go between something too crappy. But of course, as well, there's Tron Ripple, which is really weird. You know, TRX, XRP. You know, it's cool to see these different pairings come up. In fact, have we got an XTZ ETH yet? It's on all the other shits. Why has Binance not got that? Anyway, right. Well. So, by the way, Tron XRP. So think about it. If it was Bitcoin USDT, you know, for example, then the price here would be in US dollars, and we're looking at Bitcoin's value changing versus US dollars. Here, it's Tron versus XRP. You know, if this was euro dollar chart and this was the euro chart and the dollar cost on the axis, this is Tron XRP. So this is the Tron price with the amount in XRP on the axis, right? So for every Tron, you just spend 10 cents worth of XR, you know, 10 XRP cents, 0.1 XRP, 10% of 1 XRP, 10% of 1 Ripple. So right, so that's the combination there. So yeah, again, you know, are we at a point where we've pushed past previous highs, come back down, retesting at support? You know, if this works as support, I mean, right here, like if this works as support for us, because you can see in terms of the past, this is and was a significant line. It's not simply a coincidence that this is where the price is right now, right? It's not simply a coincidence. So this is why I'm saying to people, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Do we want to do a trade for some of that? Do we want to have some Ripple in our account? And do we want to get some of that Ripple by selling some Tron directly into it and therefore saving on those fees? In fact, that's something. You know, I need a how to donate crypto clip, please. Lol, if it doesn't work for me. Right. First things first. For the clip, by the way, you've got ONEUP coin, and I don't think it works for me right now. So, connect. Wait, link your accounts. What? What? Trying to tell me I've not connected. Hold on a second. Let's take this off here. Because I might have to do two-factor shit and everything else. God damn it. This will maybe explain why this wasn't working. Come on. Don't ask me the code again for a while, please. Right. Brilliant. So that maybe works now. So alert platform, connect, stream elements. You'll be really, please work. Oh God, I wouldn't care if nothing else worked, but this worked. Authorize. Oh, please. That'd be so awesome. Fuck yeah. Could work. Let's send a test alert. Let me just, sorry everybody. Just a second here. I'll just show you, in fact, I'll show you what I'm looking at for a second here. This is the ONEUP coin thing. So let me just see if this fucking thing works. Alert, send test alert. So I want to bring up my Streamlabs crap, put the alerts back on screen for a second. This will take a second to load. Then we'll try a test alert, see if it works. Wouldn't it be great? Oh, Hydro. flask. I got this when I was in the States. I really like it. I like the design of it. In terms of whether or not it keeps drinks hotter for longer, it doesn't. Not compared to other better flasks. Right, there it is. There. Send test alert. Yeah. It'll peel it. Right, great, sure. Whatever. Woo, that worked. Hey. Boop-pa. Whoop-pa. Right, great. So, where's my address? Donation link. This makes it easy to donate to me directly in all of these different cryptocurrencies, right? That makes it easy to donate to me directly in all those cryptocurrencies, right? But if you want to donate, and thanks so much, and then this will get you a message on the chat. It's all part of you'll get the alert thing and all that, and I'll leave that up on screen. But if you want to donate to the channel account specifically, then what you need to do is tell me what crypto you'd like to donate, and then I'll go and get the address for you. So I would go to wallet overview. No, and this is how it works for people who want to deposit to their own accounts as well. Deposit, crypto deposit. Then I would choose the cryptocurrency. For example, why is the list so crap? Well, for example, XTZ. Right, yeah. So any crypto. So say you wanted to send me Ripple, for example. Then you select whatever Ripple things. So you can send it over the BNB chain, that. No, and then I'd have to generate an address here. I'll not bother, but you get the point, right? I would have to tell you that at the time. So I'll make a quick clip, in a sense, kind of, for people. Kind of. I don't know if this actually counts as a clip. Maybe I'll not make it one. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Hi friends, you want to donate to me in crypto? That'd be awesome. There's 2 ways of doing it and 2 reasons for doing it. One, you might want to donate to me just to support the channel and be, a lovely, jubbly person, So if you were to go over here to ONEUPCoin, I'll put the link in my description, all that jazz, then you can donate through this platform to me. It's great. It comes up with an alert on the screen and it shows you during the video, all that good stuff, and it's a very nice way of supporting me directly. Now, as well, you might actually want to kind of invest, in a sense, in the crypto channel account. We've got a Binance account, and it's like a fund for looking at if you want to get TA on a coin that you own and that you're invested in. You can send a little bit of that coin to me. I'll do the TA on it. We'll keep it in our account. We'll hodl it together. It'll be fun, interactive. Every time, therefore, then when I go over to my wallet and check the overview, you'll see the kind of your impact on the overall value. Thanks so much shout out to Christy Callahan, for example, who donated here. Shout out to Drew's Tech as well, for example, another guy who's donated here. Those are the people who've both donated the most to this account. Much love, Drew, by the way. You're a great guy, and Christy. So then when I go over to the fiat and spot account here, I'll be able to see the cryptos. You got Tron, you got Orchid, you got Ripple, ANKR. ANKR and Orchid, 2 coins that I've not looked at for a wee while. And then I would be back over here on the charts. I'd go to Trading View, and I would say, and I think to myself, maybe because you've donated, then I might be inspired to take a look at that, coin together. There's a stock that's IPGP. You've got a flash on the charts up there using my special, unique, bespoke indicator. So we're looking to see if that actually gets filled. Anyway, what am I looking for here? For example, Orchid, OX. What is the Orchid ticker again? So Orchid OXT, yeah, that's right. I wonder how it's been doing. OXT USDT. So I'll have some drawings on here from a while ago. That old big old wedge back then. Prices dropped down. We had hoped to see things turn around. Of course, we knew that statistically speaking was not likely. It's why we managed our risk. And the prices then, of course, dropped on down the way. Now they've recovered a wee bitty. I think it's time that I would have to come in here and fix up my charts and get rid of some of this right in at that equilibrium point of the cloud. And the other one that I was going to take a look at, for example, as well, this is because people have donated these specifically to me in the past, and therefore I'm more likely to keep an eye on the TA for them. ANKR, for example, over here, ANKR targets. We took profit at these targets in terms of like talking about them. Now in the account, the account itself, we didn't. But I put the TA out there. We were ultimately aiming up for that zone as well. If we could eventually get there at 28 cents, we didn't quite make it. We made it right into these areas, right into them, as you can see with this. So So this is this sort of thing, you know, found again at this equilibrium point. Can we find a bounce here? We've got a negative cross above the cloud for the base and conversion line. If we push on down past these areas, well, yeah, you know, that's obviously quite negative, but that's just that's where we are right now. It could be a decent trade on here, and we can eventually look towards those targets. By the way, even from this high, like the exciting thing about all of this is that from that high to this low, if this is a correction in markets that's happened, a proper correction, the next target becomes 55 cents. 55 cents on ANKR. Pretty nice from a 9-cent movement up the way. You know, you could be looking at a 500 to 600% move towards the top side, you know? Anyway, that sort of thing, you can do it two different ways. Quick reminder, you ask me for the address, I'll tell you the address. So for example, say you wanted to deposit BUSD to the account, I could then give you an address, click the button on that one. Or indeed, if you just simply want to support me and you're interested in crypto, you can do it through that OneUp link that I'll put in the description, and that's the direct donating, and it comes up with an alert on screen. Your choice, much appreciated either way. Right, cool. There's the how to donate link. It's not got any addresses in it, obviously. If TWT is useful, to you in any way, I'll send you what I have. Lol. TWT. What's TWT? Is that even on here? TWT. Trust wallet token. Yeah, man. It is. It's cool. So go on then. Binance chain. Give me it. Right. So address. I'll stick the address in there. It's very kind of you, man. There's the address. You need the memo. So if you don't have, so if you know how these things work, you obviously, when you're sending this, you need to put the sending address in there. In the address field, there's a memo field. You need to put the memo in the memo address. It's those two together. By the way, for people who want to know why this is a thing, what it means is that you've got a big wallet, just one wallet that goes to. So if you were to just send it only to that address, then it wouldn't know which user on Binance that money was sent to. The thing about it is, if you have this wallet on your phone and you're sending Trust Wallet tokens from your Binance account to your phone wallet app, you'll only use the address, quite likely, because you're the only person who has access to that wallet. The memos in addresses like this means that it goes into a kind of shared wallet that has got individual accounts within the overall address. And that's how that works. It's an interesting little, side thing. But thanks so much. That's really nice of you. Thanks. It's appreciated. Cockroachos. Right. Purple Dino. Save screenshot for layers. Thanks so much, guys. It's really appreciated. So that's all of you. Is really appreciated. Really, really throws buds at that jiu-jitsu. What's going up with the jiu-jitsu guy? When Sal says that, have you done your back in or something? Let me just scroll up and find that jiu-jitsu guy. What's happened? 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 I've missed it. I'll throw buzz at you too. Oh my god. Right, I've missed donations as well. Let me just go back through these. It's 39 minutes past, so I should have tuned out 9 minutes ago. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Wait, two of these. Hold on a second. There's two of them there. Scrolling up. Restino donated. Nobody sent me any crypto. Did my alerts just start working? Did my alerts work now? Thanks. There's two balls in there. There should only be one. And my alerts working on screen. Anyway, if that's happening, that's awesome. My transitions are working too. So weird, right? I don't know. And as you can see, nobody in the world could have given me the troubleshooting advice of, well, to get your alerts to start working, what you're going to need to do is go over to OneUp, link it with your account, send yourself a test donation, and then your alerts will start working. There you go. Support. Nah, they wouldn't have known that. That's why they told me stupid things like uninstall and reinstall OBS. Made no difference, mate. Made no difference. What you need to do is go to OneUp. What? No. So clearly, I don't know what's happening there. Might not even be the case. So, and here's that up on screen again. Let me just check here. Odin, Larry, Gaston, Drew's Tech. Recent tip. Drew's Tech. Shit. It's Drew's Tech here. I don't know what that's all about, but I really appreciate it nevertheless. So yeah, let me just read back through these. Sally Mander, what do you say? This week's streams were next level fire, crazy fire. Thanks for all the learns, and have a most excellent weekend. Hydrate, water. Oh, okay. Thanks, Sal. Okay, hydrated. Sarah Steino, $10. And that might be you that put that second little ball in there. If it was, thanks so much. Who knows? Another excellent and productive stream. Thank you so much. HJ donated £4 through Super Chat. It's really nice of you. Thanks so much. You didn't even put a message in there. I really appreciate it. Corey Burke. Oh, a Burke, hey, from the DeBurgo clan. Wonder if you know that. The Burke name comes from the DeBurgo clan. It's a Norman name. It was actually part of the Norman army. So your family moved. Well, actually, I don't even know where you're from. Cheers, Corey. Merrick Sanders donated $6.69. Brief check on ESPR. Oh, I forgot about that. Let's go check it out, pal. I'm not going to tune out today until such times it's Friday. I'm going to make sure that I've looked at all of the things that I was asked to look at before I go, because there isn't any sort of, oh, I'll just do that tomorrow sort of making up for it thing. And then I'll say cheerio to everybody. Really do appreciate, by the way, everybody that's tuned in today. It's been freaking enjoyable and stuff and all that good stuff. Although I don't know if I've done a great job or not. I'm going to take Sal's word for it. Brief check on ESPR. Didn't mean to forget about you, pal. ESPR. Esperion Therapeutics Inc. All right. Okay. Esperion. Oh, shit. Well, this doesn't look good starting off. For you. Sorry, just, you know. That's 24-hour time frame. Woof, it's come back though quite a bit. Is that an 886 retracement between these, that low and that high? It's a logarithmic chart too. Yeah, it is. So you know we've recaptured that. This could be, you know, there's an edge here. Let's take it off logarithmic just so you can see. You know, wow. And by the way, let's do one of these measurements since it's always so impressive when you do this sort of crap. Like in terms of numbers, 86% lost of its value. 86%. When people say it can't go lower, bro, just remember, of course, that it can. And that 86% of its value all the way down here, you know, even from that high to that high, you're talking about 56% from, you know, for that, you know, in that little chunk of what we've gone along. From this last little point down to where we are now, 30%. You know, and this is the way the percentages work. Look, from that high to that low, 23%. So in terms of, you know, over the last few days, we've had a range of 10%. Just, you know, putting things into context for you. So there's a lot to be said here. There's a lot of trading that can happen. Just be aware that the trading that happens can be what results in you being wiped out in your account by the traders. Sorry, can't have this giving you all that information and making it easy for you, I'm afraid. Sorry, mate. I mean, I just can't. It's against the rules. There we go. So just making it. Look, I want to stay 1 inch. I want to stay 1 inch away from the reach. If in this sparring session that we would have in terms of analysis together and that, I could spoon feed you. Not going to do that. Or I could come in and just give you a one punch knockout thing. I don't want to do that. I want to be there just on 1 inch away, so that you have to reach a little bit. You have to reach a little bit. I'll be here to catch you if you slip. Don't worry about it. I'll be here to catch you if you slip. And all I'm asking is that you do one step, just one on your own. Ultimately, if you do that, you'll become a good trader. If you do that and become a good trader, then I'll really want to, you know, hang out, stuff like that. Cool. So the 236 from this thing is all the way up at 26.95. Is, you know, you're going to have to see the prices double before you get anywhere near the frickin' thing. Put it onto logarithmic just to kind of, you know, see that again. 1759. You're going to have to see the things go up by 50% if you want to get near it on the logarithmic chart. So that's kind of, you know, and that makes a good deal of sense. Like the linear chart saying, oh, you need to double it. You need to go up 100% in that. But actually, you only really need to go up 50% here to get to that point in terms of the overall increases, because if you increase percent on the way up, then that'll obviously take care of a lot of that movement for you. Maybe it's worth kind of just looking at it from actually at the all-time highs itself. Down to those lows. Yeah, same, basically same sort of setup. Big drop down the way. And let's do a couple of extra things. Let's chuck on some things. Oh, damn it, I forgot to have these on today. I wanted to have them on. We're gonna go black and white next week as well. Going to keep this hard work thing going for a while, and maybe at some point into next week we'll add back in. We'll add some colors back in again slightly to make life easier for ourselves. But we're not going to do that for now. Instead, we're going to make sure that these are both white. Yep, I've got two moving averages on the chart. And they're both white. Do you think it matters? Do you really think it matters? Should I really have them colored? Does it really matter? Or can you tell which one's which? Do you just know by now? Normally, I'd have to say the blue line is the 50 and the white line is the 200 simple moving average. But can you tell now? Because where would the 50 be at? Normally, it's a shorter period moving average. It's going to be closer to the price action. So if I told you instead that I have the 50 and the 200 period simple moving averages on this chart, are you able, in fact, that's a good poll question. Looking at that chart, are you able to see, can you instantly tell which is the lower number moving average without colors? Right, that's the question. Just let me know, right? Can you tell or not? Because you should be able to. Now, that's not a condemnation of anybody who can't, or a commentary on your ability. It's not. I'm saying that there's a lesson here. Yes, 1 vote, perfect. Let's see how it pans out. There's a lesson here. The shorter term period moving average is going to be the one that's closer to the price action over the longer term most of the time. Occasionally, the price action will be closer to the 200. You can see in here it was closer to 200 than it was to 50, you know, and that's going to be a result of recent volatility. Looking back over the course, you should be able to tell. So I should be able to add in other moving averages, and you'd be able to tell that they're different too. I mean, for instance, I should be able to have on the really short-term period moving average here of the 9, and you should also be able to tell exactly that it's the 9 period without me having to have them different colors. You should be able to tell. All the way down here, we're below the 9 period moving average. We've just taken it out. We've just taken out the 886 on the bigger time frame. We did drop below it. We're back up above it again. Managing risk here on this one for me, probably at around about 1190. Looking to target initially the 50 period moving average at 1444. Afterwards, targeting the 2354 price point and the 382 of where the 200 simple moving average is. Bearing in mind that the 236 Fibonacci against, retracement against the trend to the downside is coming in at around about $17 on the 50%. On the linear chart, it comes in at higher than the 200 simple period moving average. Just it's at 27.77 or something. So like looking between those two, I'm aiming up towards that area. And being above these other smaller term moving averages. Now, if I go ahead and pop all of the moving averages on, then you'll start to see really that we're in a downward trend here in this time frame. This is the 24-hour time frame, so it's not pissing about. And we're looking to see them turn around all of these moving averages and start to spread out in a bullish movement. So I'll just pop them in and I'll let you have a second of them being colored so you can see how we've got them all spread out. You got the and these are the inputs. The 54, 36, 18, and 9. Going to get rid of the two longer ones here just now. You got this kind of ribbon, if you like, of moving averages, and they are the like I say, these are atomic weight numbers, right? This is to do with the atomic weights of noble gases, right? Doesn't matter, not necessarily, but this is what this is. Look it up yourself. If you want to know about covalent bonds, etc., in chemistry, go ahead, look all that up yourself. You'll like these numbers. If you don't, who gives a fuck? 54, 36, 18, and 9, right? So that's 54, 36, 18, and 9. That's 9, 18, 36, 54, 9, 18, 36, 54. Do you even need these to be colored? Do you even need it to be colored? Do you really? Do you really? Or can you get an impression of what these things are doing maybe perhaps better now? In fact, do you even need the price? Do you even need the price itself? Do you even need the price itself? What can we learn looking at this? This lower line in here is the 56. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying too. Right, okay. Anyway, this line, I should have tuned out. This line here is the 56. This line here is the 9. They look like they're going to cross. The 9 moved down and went all through all of them. The other one's bunched up, but it didn't happen for it. It didn't cross. Undo. Way, undo working. Nice one. So we got a crossover here, successfully moved towards the downside, tightened up, got crosses, but didn't really happen for us. All kind of just tight, bouncing around. The price action itself operating in it around about these zones, finding resistance and support, at the 618 golden pocket. Obviously, you can put the price action itself back on if you feel like you're missing it too much, but I'll not bother right now. I'm going to actually tune out before that happens. Crossover here, blah blah blah. So this, we're spread out. Now, when you're looking at a ribbon of moving averages, what you're looking for is to have a nice spread on them, fanned out in the correct order. Okay, correct order being just sequentially, so 56, 34, 18, 9, spread out, fanned out in the correct order. It's not visible here, but you're going to look to have price action on one side of them. Not like, price action in the middle here with them all spread out. No, price action below here, etc. Now, then you're going to start to look for crosses as well. You want to see if they've crossed over whenever you're doing your trading. You're going to look to see what happens to the position of the price in relationship to the lines, the moving average lines. Ah, fuck you. Right, sorry. Excuse my language. So yeah, and that's what you're going to want to see. So here's the price action back on here. You're going to look at what happens to the price action in relationship to the moving average lines. You're going to see, are they nicely spread out? You're going to look for crosses. And you're going to look to see, is price action on one side or the other of these moving averages? Right now, my friend, this is where we are. We can see spread out, coming in, could potentially cross as price action retraces up the way. We know that there's a couple of targets because we got them spoken about earlier on, such as the 50 simple and the 200 simple period moving averages. We know that that's actually very, very close in terms of the $14 price point where that exponential is. It's slightly lower, I think 40 to 14.44 we said, in terms of maybe we could touch that and we would retrace, because, you know, sometimes we do. We're looking to see, will these things knot up together, or will we just see them crossing over, you know, crossing over more dramatically like this? You know, as we see a nice turnaround. And then when it happens, we're looking to see, will they spread out or not? Over here, what happened before they actually spread out? Well, let's take this line here. Let's take this one. And you can see it's a middle line. It's not at the extreme edge. Under here, oh, it just crossed over and then crossed back again. We didn't really spread out. It was in this territory that they spread out in this territory, and meanwhile the prices themselves were going back down. So you look at our wheel again of things that you want to know about, and you want to know about things like, is there a nice spread in them? Is price action on one side of them? You want to look to crosses. You want to look to the position. What happens to the position of the price in relationship to the moving average lines in this cycle that you go through as you're understanding them, as you can see. So that's what you're looking for. I'm going to leave it with you. You can figure out the analysis on that one yourself. Thanks then. Brilliant. Right, let's crack up. Let's just make sure. Did I have the correct screen open the entire time? I did. Oh, crosses. That was behind my head. Right, we've done some extreme technical analysis this week and the last few weeks. The chances are, if you're a subscriber here, your technical analysis skills have leveled up throughout the week, and you're becoming a part of a community which has got high level of skill. Before we did that analysis there, 61% of people actually responded that they were able to understand the moving averages without the colors. 38% said no. And that was just between two moving averages. I'm just going to do this poll again, just to see if there's been any traction, any traction with that. Will we get the same results? Okay. Will we get the same results this time around? Have you learned something? Have I challenged you? Have I stood 1 inch outside of your reach and given you that? And I've asked you just to take that one step. Boom, we're killing it. Thanks so much, Ronaldo. Really do appreciate you, my brother. You're fantastic. You got a musical soul, and I love it. Over here we have a subscriber. The potato guy, by the way, didn't actually put any more chat in there. Didn't actually subscribe. I don't think so. Anyway, the poll results may be slightly wrong on the old potato one. I don't know if I did that one. Or not. Right, great. Sal, thank you so much. Pam the Trader, you became an early supporter. Much love. Much love. Thank you so much. Corey Bing Bong, can you show how to donate on Patreon? I can't figure it out. I don't know how you donate on Patreon. I think you just go and you join up to Patreon, and then if you want to donate more via Patreon, you just edit your own subscription level, because you can choose your own. That's the thing that's maybe not, that people don't know about, is that you can just adjust what it is that you want to do. You can just adjust it up and adjust it back down again if you wanted to donate more one month than the other. If you want to donate directly to me through like PayPal, etc., then you can. I've got PayPal donation stuff. It should be in the description. If it isn't, I'll just double check. It should be in the description. And if you want to do the crypto one, that should be in the description. If it isn't, I'll need to check. Yada yada. I should have a Willow link. Let me just get the Willow link actually, because it's like WLO Rocky Outcrop, right? This thing here I think is the one. Yeah, right. Sound. There we go. This is everything that you need in it in the one. I'll pin that up there. So replace pinned. That's everything you need right there. Bulldog Buchanan, thank you so much. Lovely. By the way, love your profile picture. I was trying to look at this earlier on. I was trying to look at that earlier on. The white background, the whitey sort of outfit you're wearing, and the pale blue hair that you've got there is kind of magic. You're a bit wizardy looking, a bit witchy, sorcerousy, magical, fantastical look there. I think it's really cool. But I don't know if it's just a wig or whatever. That's me. Got to 4 o'clock. Really do need to tune out now, so I'm going to do the what you call it, the reverse roll call, and I'll do the reverse roll call and cheery. Oh, hey. Still only seeing 2 balls in there, and there has been another couple of donations since. So I'm starting to think that the Stream Elements thing isn't actually working. It's just pretending to. Oh wow! Check this out. $25. Cannot thank you enough for the education you're putting out, says Katie. You are incredible, and your growth has been astonishing over even just the last month. Thank you times a million. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Build Up Buchanan, really appreciate the 199 you chucked in there, really massively. Thank you so much. It really is nice when people do that. It helps support me an awful lot emotionally and of course financially. And what is emotion without finance? Ronaldo Moreno donated $9.99. Thank you so much. Crushed it this week, brother. Thank you. You crushed it. Cruz Michael subscribed. Thanks. Glad to know that you want to come back. Corey Bing Bong donated $5. Thank you so much. Yep, we did the donation chat. Pam the Trader become an early a member. Thank you so much for that. Sally Mander, thank you, Sal, for your 25 Canadian dollars. The best type of dollars, right? Better than any of those Mexican or United States dollars. Am I right? From Canada, that lovely country that's called Canada. There's doing that for Electro Boy's benefit. Sure, that would be like an emotional salve for him, just as he can. Oh, nice one. We've been seen. We are in a country. Yes, you are. You do exist. Sarah Wrist, I know you've changed your name to that. It's so funny. Or you wrote your name as that. Thanks so much. Another excellent and productive stream. Thank you. HJ, thanks for that $4. Corey, you just changed to $25 on Patreon an hour ago. Thanks, man. That's really nice of you. Merrick Sanders donated $6.69. Thank you so much for that earlier on. We did take a look at ESPR from an education point of view, but I'm sure you can run with what we were talking about there. Managing your risk beneath the recent lows is the easiest way to do that. You know, I'm not a financial advisor, no, it's financial advice. I'm not telling you specific price points. You'll have to look those up yourself. You should be able to. CC donate $9.99. Thank you so much. Can you take a peek at Levi? Thanks. That was an hour ago. Fuck. Okay, let's take a look at Levi. Sorry about this. Didn't mean to not do that. So we'll just come back to this in a second. Really quick look at Levi, but without spending too much time on it. Only doing this extra stuff because it's the end of the week and I'll not be back until Monday. Normally, I would just still have to be disciplined about things and regrettable. Moved up into all-time highs, finding support in here at our previous all-time high. That's fairly distinct on the chart. Just drawing a horizontal line there so you get to see that properly. Make this thing white as well, because what's the point in that? It's quite white. That's better. So that's happened, you know, during this phase of play, if you want to talk about it like that sense. What have we seen? Running up towards the top side, back down 236 just below this area. 236 happens to reside below this knot in price action, if you want to call it that. That's what Bukowski would call it just here. 236 coming in at both the sort of, you know, at this inflection on the way up and down right in here. So be looking towards that as 23.12 if we do actually crack down the way. Here what we have at the top end of this thing is quite evidently an Adam and then an Eve. So right now, you know, 24.72 would be a decent entry price in the sense that I'm not a financial advisor, no, it's financial advice, in the sense that, you know, this negativity that's happening so far is most likely to continue. Yes, it looks kind of barcodey in a sense, but actually what's going on over here is a trend. It's not so obvious, but it is, and it's a downward one. Now, you don't need the red and blue colors or the red and green colors on the candles to see that, but you can see that this is moving down the way. You can also see it's moving down somewhat dissatisfactorily. If we pushed outside of this and up again, that would be your best buy price in this zone in here. Now, we obviously don't need to, because this could be a wedge that just operates like this, and we never actually do the Adam and Eve thing overall, but it'd be worth bearing in mind that an Adam and Eve could happen from a Harmonics point of view, then you've got something like this, then it's kind of obvious that there's the harmonic potential. Obviously, coming down here, what do you have is an 8-1. So it's moved past the 786, but it's still within 3%. I think it's just on for a butterfly, although you'd need to double check that yourself, which means that you're looking down to the 127. So if we did actually push down the way, then you'd be looking down to there, which is $20, round number, $20 region. That's where your better target would be at on Levi. If you were to push down the way, that would make sense in terms of wicks, etc. Let me just kind of show you. If we consolidate and push down the way and then go sideways, then of course you've got other examples out there from how these things normally go. I'm not being predictive about this. I'm not going to take much time to look at oscillators or anything else, but just so you can see in terms of how these things go. You've got movements up the way. You've got a knot in price action that's just here at my head. You've got these lows over here. You've got this movement down the way, and then you can see that we came down just a little bit beyond it, in fact, here, and you could be looking at sort of just pushing a bit beyond the previous support, then refinding it with body closures up above, pushing up the way, yada, yada, yada. That's just one chart. There's like a billion charts out there that you could look at this sort of shite on. It's just an easy reference point for us. Here's another, for example, in terms of, well, actually that one doesn't count. How about this one here? So this one went way beyond it. Some bad examples. All these bad examples. So good with the bad examples. Well then, Rocky, with your bad examples. So anyway, back to the one that we were talking about, which was what? What were we looking at anyway? What was it called? By the way, fundamentals don't matter if you're ever interested to know. I can't even remember what the fuck thing we were talking about. Can you take a look at Levi? There you go, Levi. They make jeans and shit, right? There's maybe some news or something. Anyway, there's happening at the top. If it plays out, then great. If it doesn't, then what am I looking at as an advancement of it? Well, this zone. In fact, let me just chuck all this shit out for now. Already explained that. If you want to see what it looks like, you just have to look back in the video. If we actually see that we get a bounce here, which we will have more than half the time. 60% of the time probably, we'll get a bounce here. Then we'll be looking to see if we get resistance at this line. So of course we'll still be taking profit at something like 27.77. Okay, that's what we're going to be looking to for profit taken, because of course we've got this downward sloping line. I encourage you to do the TA yourself and actually figure out what that would be instead of me kind of guessing. This would then of course represent what? That would be an ascending triangle. Okay, so look out for that. If that's what it would be, that would be your ascending triangle. Now, where could also we be aiming to, because we have come up quite far? Have we done anything yet? Have we finished off where we'd be typically looking to? I would typically look between the 1272 and the 1618. We haven't quite got there yet. So pushing past 27.77, I'm aiming for 32.21. Then if we continue to trend up the way, the next target, long-term target, $45, aim for 45.45 as well. And it would be nice if this ascending triangle ended up with a statistical anomaly of us moving up above, even though statistically it's a bearish type pattern. It's Adam and Eve currently. Failure of the Adam and Eve triangle, triple bottom, failure of a triple bottom, moving up past the zone is a failure of the ascending triangle. The movement towards the top side on it, if it did happen, would be an expression of the range looking like that. The triangle being some shit like this would take you up to the 127, and that'd be your first target, and that'd be that 32, and that's how this would go if we get positive. If we don't, we're looking negative. There are oscillators, they exist. Remember to look for them. Big flash coming up here in the 24-hour time frame, worth being bearing in mind. Over here, that one looks like it was already happened. 4-hour time frame, since we're in flash territory, how's this going? Hide all the drawings, fuck it, ditch them in the bin. If we've done it yet, hit the auto button. I am literally minutes away from tuning out. Minute, whatever, minute by minute. Minute after minute, hour after hour, money and the power. The power and the money and the power. Can tell what's going on in the kitchen. What's the words to that anyway? If you can, been spending most star lives living in a gangster's paradise. Ooh. Yeah. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. It's been... Hold on a second. Hold on a second. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I took a look at my life and realized there's nothing left, because I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't ever crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you talking and where you walking, or you and your homies might be lying in chalk. Hey, I really hate the trip, but I gotta look. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be, like on my knees in the night saying prayers in the street light. Skip this big chunk of this because the chorus is a bit boring, yeah. Skip this big chunk of this because we don't need to say it quite so many times. Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the street, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my 10 in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a looked out gangster set tripping banger. My homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm a living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but what'll live to see 24? The way things is going, I don't know. Tell me, skip this chunk. Power and the money and the... I said it wrong, even though I'm reading it. Power and the money and the power. Minute after minute, hour after hour, everybody's running, but half of them ain't looking. What's going on in the kitchen? But I don't know what's cooking. They say I gotta learn, but nobody's here to teach me. If they can't understand it, how can they teach you? I can. Subscribe, like. I guess they can. I guess they won't. I guess they frontin'. That's why I know my life is out of luck, fool. Rely on yourself. You know, this is a great community. Always rely on yourself, because too many people out there are fronting. Tell me, why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? That's right. Much love. Much respect. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back again on Monday. I'm in the Discord all week. Join that place. It is the community you want to be a part of. Thanks so much to everybody. And I'll just end that poll, see if people do actually understand. 73%. It's a significant increase in understanding. Really love it. I can't hear it without thinking of Amish Paradise. Well, more fool you. More fool you. Love yous. See yous. Thanks, CC. Massively appreciated. If I mentioned accidentally your gender wrong earlier on, I hope I didn't, but you know, whatever. Much love. Thanks so much to everybody tuning in. CC, Denise Black, Katie Babes, Sarah Restino, Jiu-Jitsu Guy, Corey Bing Bong, Homer Simpson, Streamlabs, believe it or not, Matt Farr, do subscribe and all that rest of that stuff. CC, like I say, Christy, Katie, Trade Spotting, Homer, Banana Frige, Dan, Kieran, FU, all of yous, Shakar,